win a championship, a privilege. He's been winning championships and setting records since he came into the sport. Today, he can add to that Elliott legacy by winning a consecutive Cup championship.
Season finale 500.
Denny Hamlin has done everything in the sport except win a championship.
Next year,
46 wins, 3 Daytona 500s, even a win as an owner with NBA megastar Michael Jordan. He recently said he lives and thrives in chaos. In the past, this championship moment may have been too big for him, but an older, more experienced Denny Hamlin, he says he's ready for it today. If he gets it done, it puts an exclamation point on his already Hall of Fame-worthy career.
Martin Truex Jr., the 41-year-old from Mayetta, New Jersey, had a slow start to his Cup Series career with only 4 wins in his first 10 seasons. But everything seemed to change around 2016 when his perspective both on and off the track as he supported his longtime girlfriend and cancer survivor Sherry Pollux with her battle. Truex would go on to win 27 races in the last 6 seasons, including the 2017 championship. Today he has the chance to join an elite list of drivers with multiple championships and an even smaller list to win with different crew chiefs and different organizations.
And we know this sport isn't just about the drivers. It is a team sport. So let's talk a little bit about the guys who will help them out on pit road. Morning.
Rick, we always talk about the guys and the gals here at the racetrack. Well, how about everybody back at the shop? In the case of Hendrick Motorsports, that is 600 employees, a lot of them who are watching at a watch party today. But I want to introduce you to Brad Eichenlaub. Brad is the only crew member left who won all 7 championships with Jimmy Johnson. There you see all those trophies. And stands to win an 8th championship today with Kyle Larson. Brad told me, I'm going to be nervous, I'm going to be at home, and I'm going to be pacing, but I'm going to watch every lap of this race. He's in charge of the setup plate, a very important job. Kyle Larson trying to win one for all 600 employees at Hendrick, Kelly.
Well, the whole team for Chase Elliott has been phenomenal, including the pit crew, but I want to highlight Tom Gray. He is the lead engineer on this number 9 team. He comes from Indianapolis, grew up right by Indianapolis Motor Speedway, comes from a racing family. In fact, his grandfather owned Mario Andretti's sprint car. He and crew chief Alan Gustafson have worked together more than 10 years. They joked that they've lasted longer than most marriages. And the key to their success, they said, look, we respect each other. We argue and debate all the time, but because of that, we come up with great discussions, debates, and have a combination of ideas that seem to work well on the racetrack. Tom Gray, lead engineer here on the 9 team, Dave.
Denny Hamlin's pit crew has been top 5 in speed all day long. So how'd they warm up for today's championship race? Well, they won a championship last night. They pitted the car for Daniel Hemrick that won the Xfinity Series championship, and there you see them joyful in victory lane. Now, they told me they went home, they went back to the hotel, that is, and went to sleep. They promised me, Parker, if they win a second championship tonight, they will doubly make it for the celebration they couldn't have last night.
Of course, another driver going for a second championship would be Martin Truex Jr., but I want to give a shout out to his crew chief, James Small, who's in just his second season as a crew chief, and his accession to this point has literally taken him from the other side of the world. He was born and raised in Melbourne, Australia, by a family very involved in motorsport through the Australian V8 Supercar Series. He started as a driver, but eventually a lack of funds would force him into an engineering role, where in 2013 he achieved his dream of winning Australia's biggest motor race, the Bathurst 1000. But from that day onward, he said he wanted to go to become a NASCAR crew chief and win at the highest levels. Well, guess what? Today, he has a chance to win NASCAR's biggest prize, guys.
Pretty cool as we see the drivers working their way around the track now. They've been down pit road to check pit road speed. Steve, let's break down this race.
Well, the big stars are behind the wheel, but this racetrack is a star as well. Phoenix, 1 mile, and very oddly shaped as you see it. It has a funny-looking front straightaway, 8 to 9 degrees of banking down to turns 1 and 2 as you come to the other end of the racetrack. 10 to 11 degrees, a little bit more banking, a little bit sharper corner, and the dog leg, very important. It's just past the start-finish line. We're going to see drivers shortcut that, go straight across the flat all day long. The race itself, 312 laps. 75 laps in stage 1, 115 laps stage 2. That final stage, the longest at 122 laps.
And how competitive are these guys already before the green flag? They're getting tight on pit road. Hey, man, what are you doing?
Well, now the nerves can go away. They're in their comfort zone. They're getting ready to take on this racetrack for 312 laps to determine a champion in the Cup Series.
All right, guys, here we go.
In the front row, Kyle Larson on the outside.
Underway.
Chase Elliott on the
The
inside.
final
Flash in the air.
race of the 2021 season. And remember, next year, races will also be recorded on the way.
Chase Elliott using that bottom line. Pulls right back up to the inside of the 5.
Well, they both slide up the racetrack. Denny Hamlin way up the track back there, battling for 5th.
The track gets really dirty out here in the desert. Sand blows all over it. First few laps, Norton's pretty slick.
Larson fighting back on the outside.
Chase clears him off of turn 2. 9 cars in the lead.
Ryan Blaney, William Byron, 12 and the 24, fighting for that 3rd spot.
Right now, everybody's being really conservative with how deep they get in the corner, how much they use the resin, giving each other enough space, trying not to have any kind of issue early. It's a real battle back in the pack, but up here front, everybody's pretty orderly.
See in that upper groove right along the Denny Hamlin, this Coca-Cola can, that black section up on the high part of the racetrack, that's a resin material they put on the racetrack to try to give it a little more grip. See right there, Denny Hamlin getting his right sides, now his left side's into it, trying to see if it makes his car drive just a little bit better.
Created a great run for him down here, down the back straightaway. Looks to the inside of the 24. Now the 24 will be up in the resin. Denny runs the bottom. Right off the edge of your screen, you see William Byron. Able to stay side by side as they battle down the front straightaway.
Steve, last night we saw the bottom worked really, really well over in 3 and 4, but in this end of the racetrack, it seemed like the top was the preferred lane.
Yeah, no, I agree. And this is a storyline that I've been interested to see. Non-playoff and playoff drivers. William Byron made the playoffs but was eliminated. I think the racing between the two has been as tough as we've ever seen in the format. And you see right here, William Byron, there's no concession. He's not giving this spot for Denny Hamlin. He has 2 teammates racing for a championship, and he is racing for the best finish. He's going to make hard work for Denny Hamlin.
And you know Rick Hendrick just as well as anybody, Steve. He expects this out of that 24 bunch when it comes to racing the competitors for the championship.
Already Ryan Blaney challenging for the 2nd spot with Kyle Larson.
Blaney's had great speed in practice. Not surprised at all to see this 12 car moving forward. Marty, what you got on the 5?
We got a wreck. Bubba Wallace in
Oh,
the
Bubba
wall.
Wallace.
Yeah, big damage to the back of the 23. Bubba
Oh,
Wallace
already a
backs it in.
caution.
We'll have to take another look, see if there was assistance here.
Running in 21st position. There was a brawl happening in the back of the field.
A little bit of high centering there of the 23. So the first caution comes out here in
Right in
Phoenix.
here.
It's Bubba Wallace. Had a little help there from the 7.
Oh. Bubba Wallace already wrecks out. Wait, I think. Bubba Wallace back.
The walls are closing in on all sides. You've been a good enemy, John. Kill or be killed. This valley's mine. Come and get it. I plan to.
Stream now at peacocktv.com.
One leader falls, another rises. Each time you grew your own shadow, that'll be the last thing you do. We're at war, you and me.
Yellowstone 2-hour premiere event exclusively on Paramount Network. Set your DVR.
There's one thing you should never have to search for: an affordable, comprehensive Medicare Advantage plan.
Let's find a plan that works for you.
Bright Healthcare offers low or $0 monthly premiums for services including primary care visits, urgent care visits, routine dental care, vision and hearing exams, and even gym memberships. Medicare's annual enrollment period ends December 7th. You can enroll in person, online, or over the phone. Call the number on your screen or visit us online today.
I want my dollars to go further, and my Christmas list did not get any smaller. I discovered this amazing place called Burlington. They have great deals on gifts everyone will love. Burlington, you saved me a fortune, and you saved my Christmas. You love the deals, you love Burlington.
It's game time, baby! And you're just lying there? You need to get in the game with playing Sugar House Sportsbook. Live in-game bets, player props, and instant betting. Don't just watch the game, get in the game with playing Sugar House Sportsbook.
The only all-local weather team is Storm Team 4.
Download the official app of NASCAR. Follow the action with free live scoring. There's in-car cameras and radio broadcasts. Search NASCAR in your app store to download. Start a free trial today. Underway with NASCAR Cup Series Championship race from Phoenix Raceways. Telecast presented by USAA. And take a look at why the caution came out.
Battle for 21st. See Bubba Wallace on the outside. Corey LaJoie goes underneath him and then just gets up the racetrack, gets into the back of Bubba Wallace. Bubba backs in, big damage. And then Bubba Wallace applauding. Good job. These guys are buddies, but when your buddy gets in the back of you and you wreck, your day is over.
Oh no, Bubba Wallace.
Hey, Jeff, we saw one of the championship four with an interesting move coming to pit road. Kyle Larson, who was in second spot, I believe, or had the lead, I should say. Kyle Larson coming to pit road. I just checked in with Cliff Daniels. I said, why pit there? Which is the same question Kyle Larson had. And he said, listen, if it goes for a long run here, we're going to be in a better position. But Larson giving up all that track position, Steve. Now we'll restart 34th, just a few laps into the race.
Yeah, he was running in the second position, and I'm baffled by this decision. Cliff Daniels won 9 races, so I know he must have a plan as we ride on here, the HendrickCars.com camera. But second to 34th, after we just saw a stack up getting into turn 3 that sent a car into the wall, 6 laps on my tires. I don't like this call by Cliff Daniels. Maybe he thought back half of the field would come. I've been in this position, but either way, Kyle Larson and his 5 team going to have to be very careful on this restart.
The other thing you're scratching your head is that the first stage is only 75 laps. They've got enough fuel to go the whole stage.
Yeah, it's not a fuel conversation. The only thing I can conceive is that he thought 20th on back might come to make adjustments. Even with practice, hey, well, they're going to work on their cars, but he is going to be in the hornet's nest. We think 3, 4, 5 wide on these restarts is uncomfortable up front. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in the 30s.
But I don't actually have a lot of concern about his chances the rest of the day because we know Chase Elliott had to start from the back of the field last year, won the championship. So if I'm his crew chief or spotter, I'd remind him about that scenario. Say, hey, man, we're still in this. Same attitude going forward.
Official pace truck for the Cup Series Championship race, the 2022 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro coming to pit road now, and that puts the field back into the hands of Chase Elliott leading this one. And William Byron is going to restart on the inside. Ryan Blaney chose the outside line. They have a choose rule, so they were able to choose either inside or outside, and Blaney decided to start on that outside line.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Chase take the lead from the inside, but the outside was the most successful last night. I think the leader will continue to take it.
Back on the way.
Look at them fan out. 4, 5 wide as they go through the dog leg and into turn 1.
24 falls in line there. Third, Denny Hamlin dives to the bottom to try to take away that position from Byron and get into third place as well. He does that, clearing the 24 off turn 2.
Here comes the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Got to keep our eye on Kevin. So good at this racetrack. 9 wins in his career here. And now moving up, fighting for the 4th spot.
And he had pace in practice. So that car can absolutely have a great run today. They struggled all year long trying to find top 10 pace.
On the bottom of the screen, you see the 5 of Kyle Larson. I mean, we know he has a good car. We know he has good speed, but this is a concern. That's 3 wide. He's not on the racing surface. That's the apron, and now you come off the corner. You wonder if the car's on the outside. No, you're there. Will they give you space? Currently 23rd. Continues to look for positions.
And there's Corey LaJoie in the 7. He was the one that Bubba Wallace was showing his displeasure earlier. Marty?
Well, we mentioned Kyle Larson kind of questioned that call from Cliff Daniels after it all happened. Here's a radio conversation.
I can tell we were a little on the loose side. Anything to address? Are you okay with where it is? I think just see where it goes. Yeah, copy.
So what Cliff Daniels said after that was coming down pit road once Kyle Larson kind of questioned it. Why did we
we
do
got a
that?
spin. Turn 3 and 4, the 7, 47 go around. LaJoy
Oh,
hard into the
Corey
wall.
LaJoy, Stenhouse.
Just cleared them.
No contact, I don't believe, for the 47 car with
Corey
the wall.
LaJoy and Ricky Stones Jr.
Stenhouse will pull away. We rattle
Already another car show, right?
I think Corey
First by
had it
Wilson,
saved
now
and then
Stenhouse
split
and
off the
LaJoy
brakes,
gets
something
wrecked
slid
now.
up into the wall.
Just burn out. What are you doing, LaJoy? What are you doing? It's not. Remember, like in April race, whenever 2019, we were Manchester.
Yeah.
He thinks he won the race.
You mentioned no contact
gonna make
with the
a
wall. The 47 looks clean as he drives away, Junior. Maybe a little donut on the left side. They might have to clearance that tire.
Wait, you're gonna give me a turn?
This car's got quite
Oh,
a bit of
dang,
damage.
that's a
See
lot of
replay side by
damage.
side. Look at
Why
McDowell
do we
down
keep
there on the
having
inside.
cautions?
Could affect the way
What
LaJoy
happened?
goes into the corner. He gives McDowell a little bit of room.
McDowell.
This is McDowell and
He got eliminated
I
from
don't know that the 47
McDowell and
Stenhouse
Bowman
knew they were going to be three
this is
wide.
their like home
Yeah, I think that's
home,
exactly right. I think
state, Arizona.
Stenhouse
Alright,
believes
get
that
back
Arizona.
down. I mean, we kept on hitting my cars.
So knowing the 7's going to turn
And
left,
also Sonoma.
You know,
So
Were you
he's gonna
sitting?
turn
Were you
left,
sitting
but
in
of
your
course,
area where you make
47
customers?
car couldn't because there was a car there.
By who? Bubba?
And you mentioned
just
Kyle
go.
Larson had just gone through like the lap before that group of cars.
Uh,
So that's the concern
stop.
when you lose that track position. It's
Dang, I mean,
to
we're
Dale's
not.
point,
Dang,
it's
we're not
not-
gonna repair
it's
that
a
damage
major
on
concern for
Corey
his championship
LaJoy.
hopes. As far as getting back to the front, it's more of a concern getting caught up in somebody else's
Dang,
best
we're
part.
not gonna even
And see,
repair
just to
the
follow up
damage
on that,
to a
Cliff
7.
Daniels said, I think
Screw
we're
a
going to
system.
win the stage with these little bit of pressure tires. So this
Good.
caution coming out at an interesting time, Steve. You got to wonder if this is going to sort of split the championship for maybe some come here. But Cliff Daniels firmly believes those extra laps, or not extra laps on the tires, I should say, for Kyle Larson are going to be an advantage by the end of this stage.
Pressure tires, even 5, 6, 7 laps, pressure tires, better for him?
Well, this is not the normal setup we see, right? Low downforce, a lot of power. That means not a lot of grip.
All right, race fans, you could win a Busch Pit Boss grill today. Follow @BuschBeer on Twitter and tweet #sweeps when Kevin Harvick pits for a chance to win. We heard him in pre-race talking about giving away one of those Pit Boss grills every time he comes to pit road. Well, the first one's happening now.
Now all of the leaders come to pit road, and this will probably let Kyle Larson advance right back up there, Dave.
So for Denny Hamlin, he said, we definitely don't have the same security we had going into 3, but we have better security going into 1, like we talked about. So you can tell that's something they adjusted to start this race. Parker.
And for his teammate Martin Truex Jr. just complaining about the track being very greasy. Started in 12th, got up to 9th there using the shoes. You see that adjustment in the left rear, Kelly.
Chase Elliott was quick to take the lead, said it was a little bit slicker that last little run. Sounds like he's a little bit free in his race car. 4 Goodyear tires and fuel.
Interesting, after the pits cycle through, Kyle Larson's going to be 5th. So
She's only
the
one
early
of
call
those pit
gets him up
roads.
in the top 5.
USAA is made for the state pilots. For Matt, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
I need to try it first. Theo was saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now, he's free to become thoughtful Theo. And he's got a gift for everyone. So thoughtful.
Welcome to the Jenny 500, folks. We have a strong lineup today. Starting in row number 1 with Wings.
A real contender coming in with a lot of heat, Bob.
Next is Sushi, who's been on a bit of a roll of late. And finally, we have Cheeseburger.
A rare choice for Jenny.
All right, let's see what Jenny is going to order. Wow, tacos with the upset.
No matter what you're craving, order from DoorDash and get it delivered right to your door.
DoorDash, get more to your door.
time to get holiday ready with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks. Or with Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. And come home in a Ford Bronco Sport. That's how you get holiday ready. Get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 60 and 500 retail bonus cash, plus complimentary maintenance when you sign up for Ford Pass Rewards. See your Ford dealer today.
Grab an ice cold Coke and buckle up. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
And you could be headed on a VIP trip to the 2022 Daytona 500. All you have to do is visit NASCAR.com/Daytona 500. Enter champion for your chance to win. Denny Hamlin going for 4 Daytona 500 championships, since he is a 3-time winner already of that race. Pretty impressive.
On the left-hand side, as we ride on board with Denny, take a look at kind of the differing pit strategies. Blaney, Keselowski, pit road. Then we have that group of cars
back
that pitted on the previous yellow, and then from Elliott on back, cars that were just on pit road. So we heard Cliff Daniels talk about how he thought fresher tires would help. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what they're worth, but we're getting ready to find out, because Chase Elliott starting 9th has the freshest tires.
Ryan Blaney will be on the outside of row 1, and Penske teammate Ryan Keselowski will be on the inside.
Kyle Larson.
Dang it.
Already making it 3 wide. He got a great launch. That allowed him to get alongside 3-car Larson Dillon. And now, look how low he is on the racetrack. Going to easily clear up into 4th.
He did a good job of 4 wide back there. Thinning down to 3 wide, going into turn 3. Oh, 9 and 4. Really tight back there.
Blaney out front. And we're seeing the 9 of Chase Elliott take that same path way down the racetrack. Almost staying away from the 4. Maybe a smart move by the driver of the 9.
He just passed 4 cars right there doing that. Moves up into the 6th position.
So Blaney's up front, and Keselowski and Ross Chastain running in the 2nd, 3rd positions. Ross Chastain will move over to a new team next season.
I'll tell you, the car that's struggling on this restart to get through this traffic is the 11. See him back there at the top of your screen. Right there, not making the advances that his counterparts trying to win this championship are making. He's had a little tougher go of it, being boxed in, trying to get in the right line.
He got boxed in behind the 37 car of Ryan Preece and just could not get away from him.
Hamlin currently scored 13. Playing that higher line now, taking advantage of the resin on the racetrack. This time he's all the way down on the yellow line, Dave.
And Rick, that's what I was just going to point out. He restarted inside row 7, so he was kind of back in the mix there. But then we saw him move up into the resin. That was one thing that Chris Gabart told me, the crew chief, though it's not a concern, we didn't have a lot of practice time there up in the resin, so we're not really sure that line right there, how much grip it has. And now you can see Hamlin trying it to see if it's part of his way forward.
See right here, Chase Elliott, with those newer tires, taking the fight to Kyle Larson. Went really low down this front straightaway dogleg that last lap. I mean, really low. I think he gets the record. Big wiggle out of the 9. Almost collects his teammate.
Whoa.
To your point about being low. Yeah, I mean, if pit road wall was any lower, he could have gone lower on the straightaway.
Big catch right here by Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That shows you Chase Elliott obviously has a fast car. Drives underneath Larson. Gets a left front right on that yellow line and around the back cane. That shows you how on edge these cars are and how you have to drive them. You got to find that edge. If you don't operate on the very, very limits of grip, you can't make the speed you need to. Chase Elliott just crossed over it just that little bit, and you saw him lose control.
And these tires are hot, and they are sticky like duct tape, and they pick up debris. And running way low on the racetrack like that, while it does cut some distance, it's dirty down there. There's a lot of debris, dust, speedy dry things that have been moved down out of the racing groove. You have to wonder if running down there, there's a bit of a penalty of grip in the corner once you get to the corner with all that debris and dirt on your tires. Riding on board the Xfinity Cam, as Chase tries to find a way around this five. He's got more pace. I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of the 9 car. I think Allen and Crew Chief would have to be happy with what the car looks like right now at the first part of this race.
I'm liking what I'm seeing out of that 5 car. I mean, he's on older tires, and yes, Chase Elliott is a little bit faster, but being able to fend off Chase Elliott with those older tires, Kelly, is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that big moment for Chase Elliott a few laps ago, he's been quiet on the radio. I asked his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, to kind of size them up in their race car compared to the others in the Championship 4. He said he feels like this 9 car is good on both the short run and the long run. He said, we're not quite as quick on a short run as the 5, but much better on a long run. He also said to watch out for that 19 of Martin Truex. Not good on a short run, but he said he thinks their strength will come when they get a long green flag run, Marty.
Kelly, watching this, I can't help but think what Rick Hendrick thinking right now as his cars are racing this close, this early. Shows you what the championship and track position means. Kyle Larson up in second after all of the talk of the pit strategy early on. So, Steve, my question to you is, Cliff Daniels has clearly laid down his cards on the poker table already. He has shown everyone he's going to be aggressive today with his pit call. So, if you're another championship 4 crew chief, how does that make you think about the rest of the race and the way Cliff may call it?
Well, I'm definitely calling this race just trying to beat those 3. That's what the rules say. I don't have to win the race. I have to beat the other 3 championship 4. But you want to mention aggressive. I think Ryan Blaney is the aggressor of everyone. He's yet to even come to pit road and leads this race by a second and a half. So if I'm one of these crew chiefs, I know aggression seems like it should pay off, but not even pitting is working for the 12 car. So we have to ask ourselves, what are tires even worth?
I just think the 12 car had so much pace in practice. We talk about the champions having to win here to be a champion. Well, maybe not today. I think that 12 cars has enough pace in it to win the race. But another car that's equally as quick, right there behind these 2 here battling for second place, is the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. He's closed up on these 2 as Chase Elliott's tried to battle around this 5. And remember the bad blood between Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick? I think Chase wants it to go away. Chase thinks it's over. We don't know really where Harvick is with that and how much he's carrying with him as far as that anger. But he's got a fast race car at a racetrack that we noted he was very good at.
See right there, this was Bristol. Late in the race, Harvick gets up the racetrack, ends up cutting the tire, the left side tire of Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott's mad, lets him know that after the race, then blocks him. Kevin Harvick feels like it cost him a win.
Roval.
Then at the Roval, they get together. Harvick sends the 9 into the fence. Right here, the 9 out of control. Comes down the racetrack, and then later in the race, the 9's rebounding. Harvick looking in the mirror.
Oh,
sees him, putting the pressure on, and misses turn 1 hard into the wall. But we watched live as Harvick goes around Chase, and look at the room that Chase was giving him. He gave him a whole car length. I don't want nothing to do with this right now. Not going to race you hard. You're fast. Go ahead.
Well, look right here. Stage 1, 35 of 75. Lap 35 of 312. Chase Elliott knows what the game is today. The game is to win this race. You can lose it right now. You can lose a race right now. You can't win it. So smartly, and, the 4's fast. Smartly saying, okay, now's not the time to fight. I'm going to let you go, and we're going to go and live to fight another day.
Kevin Harvick came to pit road also on lap 17. Fresher tires than Blaney, but Blaney's still holding off the field.
I remember Blaney still in the lead.
Get out. Fired up. Hook big ones. We get out and rip it. And we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew. Get out and do.
You don't become the official partner of MLB and Nascar if you aren't the strongest and the fastest. Blue Emu's unique formula with emu oil offers relief when you're training to win. Blue Emu Super Strength. It works fast and you won't stink. Official partner of MLB and NASCAR.
excitement can get grating. They're just for pastry baking, the Progressive family. They're helpful but annoying, they always leave us snoring. Accidents are boring with the Progressive family.
So, when do you all go home?
Never. We're here for you 24/7.
How terrifying.
Protection's so good, it's scary. The Addams Family too, now playing everywhere.
After the last lap at Phoenix, race fans are always hungry for more. Never fear. There's a racing series featuring 200 miles per hour top speeds, 24-hour races through the dark of night, all-out runs in the rain, and surprises coming left and right. The biggest names in motorsports all battling for survival. Sports cars pushing the limits of what you believe is possible. This is IMSA. The green flag drops in Atlanta on November 13th.
Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Looking down on this beautiful facility here in Avondale, Arizona. And for the lead, here comes Harvick. Looks to the inside of the 12 of Blaney. 41 laps in. Kevin Harvick just about to clear the 12. Now having to deal with lap traffic.
Oh, looks like the 19 and 5 got really close to making contact there down the back straightaway. Truex takes that position away.
Blaney's really impressive, guys.
I'm more impressed with Harvick because we know that the car's not been that great all year long, but man, when he comes to Phoenix, he's fast. It just he knows this place. He knows something about this place that makes him so good here. It's interesting that drivers are really good at certain tracks, specific tracks, every time they go there, no matter what car they have. This is a track where Harvick is going to compete, Parker.
Right, Dad, I want to reference what you were talking about there, the 19 of Martin Truex making that pass in the 5 as we get later in this run. A lot of people expected after practice that 19 of Truex to be one of the fastest of the championship four on the long run. But one thing they weren't expecting was him to be fast on the short run. Well, in the last restart, he went from 11th to 5th in about 2 laps. How did he do it, though? He used that resin. Before that run, he had gone to the resin earlier, so we got a battle for the lead once again, guys.
Yeah, getting the 12 a little bit loose. The 4 of Kevin Harvick right on his left rear quarter panel.
And right behind him, Chase Elliott just run these two down. Now that he's clear of Larson, he's able to run lap times faster than the 2 leaders.
But look at Blaney. Blaney has 17 more laps on his tires.
Harvick trying to get right on that door. Harvick does not like it when you race him and he's faster. Man, I want this spot. Give it to me.
Yeah, with Blaney holding everybody up, and it's just collapsing the field. Now you're going to have this 5-way battle for the lead. Blaney doing a great job out front.
And Blaney,
Harvick on the outside of him now.
Yeah, with Harvick right there, Blaney has to run defensive, and that takes a little bit of speed out of his lap time as he has to run certain lines to maintain the lead, not really go where he wants to go with the car for fear of letting the 4 car on his outside. He wants to keep this high line, and he does a few things on corner entry and so forth that cost him some lap time. It's allowing all these guys to close in.
They keep changing their lines, and now the 9 and 19 have closed the gap.
Real fast speed out of that 19 car. Truex is going to try to get around the 9 as quick as he can. He's right on his bumper going into turn 3. Shoots to the outside here. Will he have the momentum on corner exit? He's going to get to the throttle sooner. Have a run here, dive to the inside.
Just puts Chase in that outside lane, and the outside lane's been really good over in 3 and 4. So he's hoping to be able to throttle up and get alongside Truex, but he's not going to be able to do it.
Wow. Power move by Truex to be able to roll that bottom inner low and make the pass.
Here comes Harvick, looking once again to the inside of Blaney for the lead. Now he's got pressure behind him with the 19 of Martin Truex Jr.
So now Chase Elliott's watching this 19 car, trying to study where he's better so he can give that information to his crew chief about, hey, my car doesn't do this. He really didn't know that until he got around this 19 car to see that 19 car doing things better. We got an awesome battle here for the lead, though. Great battle between Harvick. He tries to work around the 12.
Now he's got good momentum. Now he's going to have to drive this car deeper in the corner than he wants to and just slide up in front. of Ryan Blaney right here. Harvick loves the bottom at Phoenix, loves that yellow line in 3 and 4.
It's clear. He's going to give him the lane on the outside. He takes that position. Here comes the 19. I really appreciate, though, Blaney not laying over, racing hard. These non-playoff guys, they want to come out here and compete with their fast cars. They got race-winning cars. They want to accomplish that. Blaney back on the outside, using that lap traffic.
Yeah, see, Blaney has forward momentum now going into the corner, right? So that forward momentum as you approach the corner is so important. That allows Blaney to get in the lane that he wants to and build momentum. Truex now hoping to run that outside. Harvick knows it. Harvick's in a difficult spot here because he wants to attack Blaney, but if he makes a mistake, it's going to open the door, just like it did right there for Truex.
Blaney sideways off the corner. That's going to allow these guys to close in. They're 3 wide now. Truex, though, is going to go down into turn 1, and I think easily clear for the lead. That car is working so much better than anyone else's.
Little momentum out of the 12, but Truex in front now. Here comes the 4 once again. Kevin Harvick looking to the inside of Martin.
Larson's rebounded somewhat to close in on this battle, riding on the Toyota camera, the bumper camera for Martin Truex Jr.
I'm wondering if these playoff contenders, these championship contenders, thought that they would come into this race on lap 51 to be having this kind of battle. This is a long race, a 5-way battle for the lead.
And make
no mistake, know that was the pressure they were expecting.
Make no mistake against these other cars that are involved that are non-playoff drivers. Look at the manufacturer. They're Fords. We got no Fords battling in the championship 4. They got no teammates. So they can race up in here. They got to take care of nobody but themselves. They can go out there and try to win. Parker.
Guys, what a statement by Martin Truex Jr. and this 19 team after qualifying the lowest of the championship contenders in 12th. A lot of people maybe were counting them out and saying they didn't have the raw speed. We didn't see it in practice. When you talk to the other teams, they weren't worried about this 19 and sort of the short runs, but said if there was a long run, they would come to the front. I don't think they expected to be this early on, though, to show the speed of that 19 car. Martin Truex is obviously very happy, Marty. Parker, during the 2021 playoffs, the main topic of conversation has been playoff drivers versus non-playoff drivers. Trust me, Kevin Harvick could care less if he's not in the championship 4. The one thing he cares about, the 0 in the win column this year. He wants to keep the streak alive of winning races. That's what motivates Harvick at one of his best racetracks, Dave.
Denny Hamlin is not far behind this group in 6th place, and crew chief Chris Cabart watched him race to that position from 14th.
Really nice 3 and 4. Last lap and 1 and 2. I like what I see.
Gabehart told me this morning when Denny is on his game, his best asset is risk management. Gabehart has what he calls green races, where they do everything right. He asked Denny to improve his part of those races, do it even better. And if he manages the risk right, he can make his way through the chaos into the front.
Championship 4 once again, all running inside the top 6.
Well, we heard Jeff Burton mention it. Cutting the dog leg, how far are you willing to go? Well, Chase Elliott might have set a new record basically to the end of pit lane, cutting the front stretch.
Wow. I will be right back here.
You have options. How convenient. Oi, grab cakes. What are you looking at?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Pringles Original. Barbecue. Pizza. The barbecue pizza stack. Where is everyone? Pringles. Endless flavors to stack. Driver Eric Jones races the legendary Richard Petty number 43 car to drive down the cost of healthcare for the benefit of hardworking Americans overcharged by hospitals who hide their prices. It's now the law. Hospitals must post all prices up front. We invite you to get behind the wheel. Demand hospital prices. It's our health. It's our money to save. Power to the patients. Say hello
to a new Monday.
This is huge, and now it's official.
Living legends. I can feel the power. Groundbreaking superstars.
This is my show now.
This is why.
And 3 hours of non-stop action.
Monday nights continue to get even more stacked.
Monday Night Raw. Live Mondays at 8 on USA.
Time to play with everybody's favorite killer doll, Chucky. He's back and taking over your television with a classic coming of rage story. Check out new episodes every Tuesday on USA Sci-Fi at 10, 9 Central.
I was back.
On demand now. Mark Truex Jr. out in front here in the desert. Kevin Harvick holding on to second right now, but he's a second and a half behind Martin Truex Jr.
I know Kyle wasn't going to win the championship.
All running in the top 5 now. The only one not a part of Championship 4 is Harvick in second. But we knew that this was going to be the way the race was going to play out. They have
14
always
to go in
been
stage
the
1.
best
Woohoo!
when it comes to this final
Mark
race.
Truex
And
Jr. out front
Truex
here
Jr.
in
right
Phoenix.
now leading the field. Let's listen in on his radio.
So Truex, yep, is a so the Truex is like leading. So Truex first, Elliott second, Larson for Hamilton fourth in the championship.
Great feedback by a driver to the crew chief. Very calm, very confident.
Running.
I like that he gave not only the
running
balance,
order.
but it says a little greasy. I think that it means, overall grip of the racetrack, he feels was a little lower than maybe it was in practice. So it seems like the 19, at least early in the race, confident in his race car. Let's listen into the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Yeah, so I'm okay. A little bit more slick with the back. I would say in 3 that run and the opening.
Another driver, great information, right? A little slick with the back. So not really saying it's turning better, not the front's working better, the car's tracking the corner, but actually maybe lost a little bit of rear grip.
Larson's going to win the 2021 Nascar Cup Series
It's not in a
champion.
good way, right? Lost rear grip. Right behind the 9 of Chase Elliott is his teammate, the 5 of Kyle Larson. Let's listen into his radio.
Okay, we're pretty much same line from up here as the 19, correct? Yeah, correct. Pretty similar. I think we're at a little bit of a tire disadvantage, and I still need to work on my cars, so that's about it.
That sounds like conversation between Spotter and crew chief, probably on Channel 2. Spotter asking information, can I help him? Is it a line? Do we have to move around? We're the same as the 19. But then Cliff Daniels, a matter of fact, saying, listen, I know I'm going to make the car better, and don't forget we're behind on tires because they pitted 1 stop before. So good information from the 5 and the last of the championship 4, the 11 of Denny Hamlin.
It's pretty good overall, especially 1 and 2. Turn 4, a little bit free, just a hair down into the corner, but I haven't got a clean track yet. A little loose off.
That's the signature of Denny Hamlin and Chris Gabehart. Just very matter-of-fact information as he gets to the bottom of Kyle Larson. Only 66 laps into this race, so as a fan, you might panic. Oh, Hamlin's not up there. He's the worst of the 4. But you heard no panic out of the driver's voice, giving great feedback, great information to his crew chief. He knows adjustments are coming at the end of this stage.
Steve, I was struck by the calmness in all of the drivers. None of them seemed like they were stressed out. None of them seemed like they were panicking. They were very matter-of-fact, very calm. I think that's a good sign if you're a crew chief. You know your driver's mind's in the game, not distracted.
Early in this race, 8 laps still to go in stage 1. Points don't matter for these 4. It's whoever finishes in front of the other 3. And right now it's Mark Truex Jr. who is leading the championship 4. He has a 2.2-second lead over Kevin Harvick, who's running second right now.
I've been really impressed with this 11 car. We watched and talked about how he was struggling to get through the traffic on that restart, the last restart. And it cost him a lot of time. He's able to close that. I don't think he's ran as hard as he possibly can. And he's drove right back up to these guys, trying to work around this 5 car. Not going to be easy. Looks like he's going to clear him right here. I don't think we have seen everything out of this 11 just yet. Both the Gibbs cars have come today with some great long-run speed.
This one 48 laps that we're currently on as far as a long run, as we see the 5 slide back just a bit, and Denny Hamlin easily clearing him. Hamlin up to 4th now.
Chase Elliott
just ahead of these guys, continues to chop the entry or chop the front straightaway dog leg. And this is long after cars are all strung out. Nobody to the inside of him, but look at him. He's like, man, I'm gonna go down here. It's a 10th.
Whoa, Elliott! Oh my goodness!
So to get that
Whoa,
he's gonna go get it if there's a half a 10th or a 10th out there. He's not doing it every single lap.
That end of that wall is painted red. I mean, he is so close to it. It's amazing, Kelly.
Have to go.
It's a brand new race car for Chase Elliott that Alan Gustafson brought here. He said there was really no downside to doing it with that 1 hour practice that they got. You just don't have any wear and tear of a race car you've already used. But the interesting thing to note, he says it's the last Hendrick chassis ever, as far as they know. With the changes coming next year, they won't be building them in-house, Dave. So this is chassis number 1278 from Hendrick, and quite possibly the last.
Kelly, to Dale Jr.'s point, we may not have seen everything out of the 11 car yet, but we're seeing what he told us we would see in Countdown to Green today. That is a car that runs through the run and runs well at the end of the run. 51 laps into this run, guys, and the 11 is coming.
We talk about non-playoff guys. Here's a great battle as Blaney's starting to slide back through this top 10. We know Byron has had a great year, but look at Cole Custer. Had great speed in practice. He's ran great all day today. He's faster than both these guys, trying to run around the bottom there, making that pass a little difficult, having to use the bottom of the racetrack. But it's organization. The whole organization has struggled this year, and it's really hurt everyone that drives for them, including Cole Custer. But today, it looks like that he has a really exceptional race car. Wow, Byron really using up a lot of racetrack there.
Yeah, that's a case right there where William Byron just said, okay, enough. I got a faster car. I'm just going to have to do what I got to do. And he just ran Ryan Blaney in a position where he just had to lift. Either lift or wreck. Ryan may not like that. We'll find out later. But at some point, you just got to get by a guy.
Ryan Blaney on the oldest tire still up here in the top 10. He's currently running in the 8th position.
See right here, William Byron just runs way up the racetrack. Kind of just puts Blaney in a spot he doesn't want to be in.
Coming up on 1 to go now for Martin Truex Jr. for the end of stage 1.
Yeah, pretty fascinating there. The 48 car, Alex Bowman, won last week at Martinsville, and here it is in a final lap. Close to being lapped.
Could potentially be lapped as they go down the backstretch for the final time, and Bowman trying to stay in front of and stay on the lead lap. As Martin Truex Jr. is going to
Truex is going to win stage 1.
The first win at the other championship for drivers. He wins stage 1.
Second, Harvick. Elliott,
Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, third, fourth, Kyle Larson, fifth of the championship for drivers.
Woo. And then Brown 6,
again, no
Costa
points
7,
for
8th
the championship for their fighting for the title. And that's Roderick going to green flag a little bit earlier. The battle is underway here in the desert. Martin Truex Jr. wins the first
Check another commotion. Be back.
Triple homicide. You would have killed me if I didn't go along. They insist. This whole thing was your idea. She was brutalized. She says
Sergeant! On the road!
I have a plan to kill someone, just you and me.
Go, go, go! Everyone out!
Do you have recurring clogs or slow drains? Call A.J. Perry now and pay only $99 per drain for our expert drain clearing service. A.J. Perry will clear your clog guaranteed. A.J. Perry, plumbing, heating, and cooling. Visit ajperry.com.
I love those guys. At Optimum, we're optimizing your connections. Our new Smart Wi-Fi 6 technology features mesh coverage for a better whole-home Wi-Fi experience. Now with Optimum Extend included, you'll get Wi-Fi even in those hard-to-reach places. Stream, work, and game faster, all on one powerful mesh Wi-Fi network. Greater whole-home coverage is here with Optimum Smart Wi-Fi 6, now including a free Wi-Fi extender with select internet packages. Hey Google.
local retailer for special offers during our Holiday Safely Sales event.
Did you know that your annual furnace tune-up can help save you money and prevent costly breakdowns? Help extend the life of your heating system. Schedule your annual furnace tune-up now with A.J. Perry for only $89. A.J. Perry, plumbing, heating, and cooling. Visit ajperry.com.
I love those guys. We're talking Giants Raiders tonight on Sports Final.
NASCAR on NBC is brought to you by USAA. This Veterans Day, join us in celebrating those who serve. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Visit GoCreditOne.com. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. And by Toyota. Over 5,400 campsites on this 290-acre plot of land here that Phoenix Raceway sits on, and what a sight it has been all weekend long. The fans here have sold out. Excited to see this championship race, this championship day. We saw a great race last night in the Xfinity Series, and now equally as exciting. The start of this one, stage one in the books. Martin Truex Jr. has worked his way up front. The crew's getting ready to go to work. We talked about how this is a team sport, and positions can be won and lost on pit road. And we're about to decide who has the best pit stop. Truex Jr. will lead the entire field onto pit road. It's Harvick, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson. Those guys are top.
Here we go. Pit stop going away.
Right, Rick, and Martin Truex Jr.'s crew chief James Small asked him, what's one thing that car could do better? And all Martin replied with is, I'm pretty happy. It's just going to be 4 tires and very small adjustments for the 19 car, Dave.
Denny Hamlin, 31 championship contenders. A small chassis adjustment for a car that's a little free overall, tight in the short runs, Kelly.
There's a lot Chase Elliott likes about his race car. He says it's got great ability in it, but the rear end is a little bit out of the track. They're going to make a track bar adjustment for Goodyear tires and fuel, Marty.
Kelly, there's a laundry list of things Kyle Larson wants his car to do better. Too loose on exit, too tight in the center. He said, I can never hit the bottom of 3 and 4 correctly. I'm so free. So Cliff Daniels taking a fairly big swing here. Air pressure adjustments all around. Also wedge. Larson and his team will actually lose and actually hold the pit spot here on pit road. Rick.
Elliott first. Truex loses a spot. The Jackman, good recovery, but watch as he comes around the front of the car. He leaves right here. Slips, falls on his knee.
Oh my God, barely. Alright, so we'll be right back here again. At the season finale, 500.
You tell me which sounds more refreshing. Gotcha. This one? Or this one? Bush. Definitely the one that went bush. What beer is that? Are you being serious? Yes. It's Bush. Right. Bush.
We all have obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself physically every single day. The first time I put on a pair of gloves, it was like someone released the pressure. It was so crazy. There's nothing like them.
It's time to get holiday ready with Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks. Or with Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV. And come home in a Ford Bronco Sport. That's how you get holiday ready. Get a Ford F-150 with 0 for 60 and 500 retail bonus cash, plus complimentary maintenance when you sign up for Ford Pass Rewards. See your Ford dealer today.
Pain happens in many forms, but that doesn't scare Blue Emo. Delivering fast-acting pain relief in a cream, spray, and lidocaine in a soft foam applicator. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink. Official partner of MLB and NASCAR.
There are currently 2 million American spouses and children whose family member was killed or disabled in defense of our country, which is why I founded the Folds of Honor, providing educational scholarships to the families of 1% of the Americans who protect our freedom.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor.
Thank you for supporting the Folds of Honor. Please join our squadron today. Your $13 a month speaks volumes and changes lives forever.
NASCAR Cup Series championship race. from Phoenix Raceway. Telecast presented by USAA. And Peacock streaming this race live. You see the Peacock paint scheme on 7 of Justin.
Just Haley.
I want to go to the Ruoff Mortgage Peacock pit box now and check in with the guys.
All right, Brandell, we've seen 3 of the contenders lead the race so far, and all 4 of them ran in the top 5 that whole entire stage. Does anything surprise you?
No, the only thing that surprised me is how aggressive they were with each other. I mean, these guys are racing each other really hard, not giving each other a lot of room. But no, they've separated themselves, and there's a reason for that. But it's going to be interesting as we continue to go throughout the day. Who can keep up with the track? We just saw Larson's team take a huge swing at some changes. What's that going to do to his race car?
Yeah, and they had others racing around them. That's why they're racing hard, is because other drivers, including Kevin Harvick, up there racing them hard. Martin Truex wins the first stage. What'd that get him? Nothing. But it gained him some respect with these others. You better go to work on your race car if you're going to beat me here today.
Yeah, Martin Truex has got to work on his race. Or Martin Truex is good. Everybody else has got to go after him. Yeah. We got to go after Rudd. Where's Rudd at right now?
Kyle, I'm out here loving it on Rattlesnake Hill. You know, the fan experience is what takes this from a race to being an actual event. Because you can see down here, fans are able to bring their chairs, their party, everything they need here at the Toyota Turn 1 Terrace. These fans just show up. There's a tent, there's chairs. They get to take everything except the tent, including coolers, blankets, everything here. This is what makes this so special, because look at the greatest view you get here. This is what makes it an event for these fans, and they are loving it out here, guys.
I get to take a trip up there. It was
I was going to say, you were just up there a little bit higher on Rattlesnake Hill.
Yeah, I mean, Rudd quit like 3 rows up. I mean, I was keep panning out. Look at that. All the way up to the top is where we went. But what a great view. Those fans, they actually have the best seat. I know the grandstands are great, but this is the view, and it's amazing.
Okay, so the 9 of Chase Elliott won the race off of pit road. Martin Truex Jr. looks as though he's going to start on the inside of row 1. Denny Hamlin will be on the outside of row 2. And Kevin Harvick will be on that inside line in row 2.
You mentioned Kevin Harvick.
Here we go.
We also have Kurt Busch up here with all these championship contenders. Let's see how they race these guys into turn 1.
Field now approaching the Geico restart zone as we get ready for the start of stage 2.
This is the start of stage number 2. With 415 left. Whoa! Blaney almost cooked Reddick. For wide.
Elliott able to clear the 19 of Truex Jr. Hamlin and Larson nose to tail, fighting for that 3rd spot. Kevin Harvick in there as well.
Larson going 3 wide in the middle.
Whoa.
Harvick backed out, gave him room.
Seeing a little bit of urgency there in the 5 car, making that type of a move.
He drives like he knows his car is the best on new tires, Junior, right? Like he has to make time now. As the run goes, I feel like he gives up to the other cars.
1, 2, 3, 4 for the championship 4. This time led by Elliott.
Chase up here trying to hold
Okay,
off
I'm up here.
Truex trying to find a way around. Chase goes
I'm
to the
watching
bottom of
the
the
race.
racetrack. The 19 of Truex to the top. Martin's going to try to use momentum off the high side.
And he closes in down the back straightaway, but he gives up so much time entering into the center of the corner, he's not able to try to make a pass. But right here, the 9's going to throttle up and drive away. Truex tried to drive in on the outside and holding tight. Couldn't finish the corner. Eventually, if Martin is able to make speed up there, the 9 will eventually take that line away. Right now, everything's working on the bottom for Chase. I don't see him changing. He's going to get a lot of information from his spotter about where these guys are running, how they may be beating him. Right now, he doesn't need to change a thing as he drives away from Truex.
Foreshadowing, you look towards the end of the race, you can see the 4 drivers all on the same tires, more or less, as far as the amount of wear on them. And Chase Elliott pulling away right now from the other 3.
We're starting to have a little bit of a signature to each car's strengths and weaknesses. And now the challenge for a crew chief, as you see both Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. going to work, is if you're James Small, you just drove to the lead, won the stage, you got probably the best long-run car here. driver likes the way it drives. Do you make adjustments for the short run? Because then, if you make adjustments, you don't improve the short run, you hurt the long run, now you've taken away a strength of your car. So that's kind of the debate some of these crew chiefs have to make now. When I say make adjustments, you know, to make the car better on the short run, it usually needs to be a little tighter, balance-wise, maybe a little bit different air pressure. Those are the types of things that are going to cost you time at the end of a long run.
Chevrolet's fighting for position here between William Byron and one of Kurt Busch in the 1 and 42. Chip Ganassi Racing, that organization goes away right after this race. Trackhouse Racing has purchased the charters. So this will be the final race for Chip Ganassi Racing in the highest level of stock car racing.
Right behind him, Brian Blaney's trying to recover from all the track position he lost when the old tires that he was out there on faded on him late in this run before the caution, so before the end of the stage. So he's got a great race car, a lot of speed, but now having to work his way back toward through into the top 5.
Yeah, he's doing it with Kurt Busch on the outside. Kurt Busch, 43 years old. As good today as he's ever been. Won the drive next year from Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan. Kelly.
And I talked to Kurt before the race about the changes ahead, but first about what it's meant to race for Chip Ganassi. He said Chip's taught him a lot. He said he appreciates Chip's honesty, but he said there was a huge fun factor of racing for him. He said he almost would show up and wouldn't ask for a paycheck. He also appreciated the fraternity of Chip Ganassi Racing. He said we'd get called to a meeting in Sebring and all the sports car guys and IndyCar guys would be there. So it was a great fraternity. As far as headed to 2311 racing, he's looking forward to the newness and a fresh start as a veteran of the sport, Marty.
Kelly, what a terrific season it's been for Ryan Blaney, trying to make his way back up through the field. First time he's ever won multiple Cup Series races in a year, and certainly has established himself as a championship threat moving forward. Also the final race for his crew chief, Todd Gordon, stepping down off the box after 20 plus years in this sport. Going to take some time to spend a little extra time with his family. Also going to work on maybe construction, building some houses, flipping some houses. So that's what Todd Gordon is retiring from racing to do, and said he just wanted that extra time. His girls are going off to college, so he said, I need that couple of years before they finally leave the nest. So congratulations to Todd Gordon on a fantastic career, trying to get his driver in victory lane one more time this year.
And we saw the 21 of Benedetto get by the 1 there just a moment ago, as we see Harvick racing very hard now, trying to break into the top 4 here.
Kevin Harvick's been winless this year. Think about that. He won 9 races last year. Had an incredible year. Every time you looked up, he was leading races. He was just unbelievable. It's just been such a struggle. He does not want to go winless. If he has a chance, man, he is going to push the button to try to win this race.
His last winless season, could you guess that was 2009?
Oh, wow.
It's a long time ago. And I think he's got the pace in the car to get up there and do it, but now it's going to be more and more difficult trying to pass these guys. It's trying to pass these guys racing for a title.
Definitely a challenge. NASCAR Cup Series Championship race from Phoenix Raceway. This telecast presented by USAA.
2016, I was working at the Amazon warehouse when my brother passed away, and a couple years later, my mother passed away. After taking care of them, I figured that I really wanted to become a nurse. Amazon helped me with training and tuition. Today, I'm a medical assistant. I'm a nurse. Hindi ko kayo makakalimutan.
A lot of people think dealing with COPD is a walk in the park. If I have something to help me breathe better, everything would be fun and nice. But I still have bad days, flare-ups, which can permanently damage my lungs. My lungs need protection against flare-ups. So, it's time to get real. Because in the real world, our lungs deserve the real protection of Breztri. Breztri gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and flare-up protection. It's the first and only COPD medicine proven to reduce flare-ups by 52%.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
For real protection, ask your doctor about Breztri.
The best thing to order is when you are sitting at soccer practice, order it through your phone while you're sitting there, and then you go and pick it up.
But you're much more of a planner than me.
I am.
And that's what I love about you. Yes. You know, I'm not that prepared. It's more seat in my pants.
What goes your sugar? You know what's talking about big one,
I need to try it first.
Go full throttle with Wi-Fi speeds worth celebrating. Fast internet or faster everything. Internet. Let's get a few updates from pit road. We'll start with Kelly.
We'll start with Chase Elliott, who leads this race in pursuit of his second consecutive Cup championship. I asked him what the best part of being champion all season was, and he said, honestly, it was just knowing what we had accomplished. We got to walk away from this race last year knowing that we were the one team that set out and accomplished everything we intended to for that season. He said it was a fantastic feeling, and we could carry with it all year long. So they're trying to achieve that again and have the piece headed into 2022 as back-to-back champions, Parker.
Well, Kelly, the car trying to run him down is that Toyota there for Martin Truex Jr. for our Toyota driver update here. And Steve was alluding to what decision would James Small make when he sees that maybe this 19 isn't that fast on the short run. That's something James and I talked about this morning. He told me, of course, obviously I can up the tire pressure and some of those instructions. But one thing he talked about was that they saw that Hendrick cars were driving further into the corner earlier on the run, using more brakes. So he pointed out to Martin in their debrief and said, look, if I need some speed in the short run, maybe we can try driving a little further. That's where the driver can help out to find for that short run speed, Marty.
Parker, you heard earlier Kelly mentioned that Chase Elliott has a brand new race car here this weekend. Well, Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson went the exact opposite direction. This is the second oldest car in the 5 stable. Cliff Daniels told me earlier this week, I wanted to bring something that I had a history on, I had a notebook on, a direction of where I needed to go with the car. The direction right now is they need to find some long run speed with this 5 car. So quick early in runs, Dave, but as the runs go on, they seem to be losing times to the 9 and the 19.
Very little interaction on the radio from Denny Hamlin since the restart. And that's about the same way it was this week, according to crew chief Chris Gabehart. And that is normal. He said, I bet we have the least interaction of any crew chief driver combination. And I'm proud of that. We've been successful. And it highlights the efficiency of the process that we have built. It requires very little interaction. Rick, I now interact with you.
And I enjoy our interactions as well. So Chase Elliott up front, Denny Hamlin, the furthest back of the Champ 4. Let's listen into his radio.
All right, from a little left into 3, Charles forward to start a run. My centers, okay, maybe a little snug though. The biggest thing I see is entry to 1 speed. Seem to be beating you there a bit.
The new style of NASCAR. You know, when I was on the pit box, we didn't have all this SMT data, so I'd get that feedback from the driver, and I would just start to work on how I can make a drive different. But you heard right there, Chris Gabehart going back to his driver. You know, hey, thanks for all the feedback. I'm looking at this other data, this speed data, this driver controls that other drivers are doing, then gives his driver feedback on where he's getting beats and he knows where to attack.
And what was interesting about that, Steve, was that Denny didn't mention anything about turn 1. He said turn 3, I'm loosening to turn 3. So crew chief's like, okay, you may be having that issue, but we got to figure out something in turn 1. That's where the speed is. That's where that technology and communication is so important.
Second and a half for Chase Elliott out in front of Mark Truex Jr. now.
And I'm waiting for that to kind of flip, right? Truex really come on in the second half of that run. Currently 24 laps in this run, and Chase continuing to run better lap times than Truex.
Right behind those guys, the 5 car of Larson has some company. Harvick has finally reeled him in. Harvick runs a little bit different line, a little bit lower entry. Carries a lot of speed in the middle of the corner, gets up a little bit on exit, but gains so much in and to the middle, he's okay giving up a little bit there on that corner exit. Watch that lower entry right here. Even though they're both running the high side, he chops that entry, goes in lower, forces the car in there faster, and tries to maintain the gain on corner exit.
Junior, I feel like this resin traction compound that has been put on the racetrack to widen the groove out. I feel like that took some of Harvick's advantage away from this racetrack. He was so good when you had to run the bottom. You see right here is making the top work. But when everybody had to run the bottom, it seemed like he knew something. He had a feel that he was looking for. He's having to adapt to this type of racetrack to get back to that ability to just come dominate these races here.
And when we mention resin, you've heard traction compound, PJ1. This is a different chemical. This is a different application than PJ1. It's supposed to possibly have a little less grip, but be more consistent throughout the race. Not maybe give up as much, not be so unpredictable on sticker tires. We had great success with this at other racetracks like Nashville Superspeedway. And it seems to be working well throughout this weekend for the Truck, Xfinity, and now the Cup race.
And the reason it gets put on the racetrack is trying to create multiple groove racing so that you don't just have to run around the bottom of the racetrack, so the drivers can move around, find different places, try to navigate around the guy in front of them if you have a little bit faster car, and just give the driver some options.
Well, race fans, you could win that Busch Pit Boss Grill today. Follow at Busch Beer on Twitter and tweet #sweepstakes to Harvick Pits, and you will have a chance to win. Kevin Harvick now in front of Larson. Jeff, a different line, learning different things. At 45 years old, one of the elder statesmen here in the Cup Series, he's learning new things, different things. Maybe. We heard brake shake out of Truex. We heard that yesterday in the Xfinity Series, too.
That's Truex. We don't know if that was just now or maybe a few laps ago, but he has been running faster than Elliott. He's been running quicker lap times the last several laps, and you see the gap closing. Now under a second that last time by the start-finish line. You heard him talking about brake shake.
What that is when he puts his foot on the pedal, it's literally shaking. The pedal is bouncing up and down on his foot. A lot of that, Steve, has to do with how the rotors are cooled.
Yeah, how about his experience? I'm going to turn the fans off. I know what it is. I know what's going on. I'm going to adjust it right now. I just want to let you know I'm having this issue. We'll see if the 9 can continue to hold off the 19 as we go NASCAR nonstop.
NASCAR nonstop.
PNC Bank believes that if a pair of goggles can help your backhand get better, then your bank should help you budget even better. Virtual Wallet is so much more than a checking account. Its low cash mode feature gives you at least 24 hours of extra time to help you avoid an overdraft fee.
You see that?
Virtual Wallet with low cash mode from PNC Bank. One way we're making a difference.
Of course, you're super.
I need to try it first.
This one goes out to Jess from her friends. Jess, they wanted to say good luck on the interview.
Confidence looks great on you. Toyota, let's go places.
Check that out. Internet that's one step ahead.
That's cute. My internet streams to my ride.
Yeah? Well, mine's always got my back.
Okay, chill. Mine's faster than Harvick.
Okay, that's fast.
Me? My internet's so fast, it keeps jumping.
Yep, that's because you all have the same internet. Xfinity X5. So powerful, it keeps one-upping itself.
Can the internet do that?
I need 3 garlic butter bacon burgers.
Coming right up.
Will someone grab me some more cheese? Keep that garlic butter coming.
Burger up.
Order up. Sonic garlic butter bacon burger.
And here we are at the LA Coliseum.
Oh, Los Angeles. The Busch clash at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Alright, we're back.
36 laps into the run, and Martin Truex Jr. once again flexing his muscles on these longer runs as he's trying to fight on the outside now of Chase Elliott for the lead here at Phoenix. And he's going to clear it. Martin Truex Jr. back in front after winning stage 1.
Chase isn't done, though. Trying to use these slower cars as a pick to get back by him. Truex does a great job right there of kind of forcing his way underneath that slower car.
And it's important, Rick, that you note the lap time, or the laps, the amount of laps, that it seems this 19 car, the short run speed that the 9 has versus the long run speed of the 19, Jeff, you'd say it's around 25 laps is when that sort of makes a shift, and the advantage goes to Truex.
Well, the only concern for Truex is I expect the leaders in about 15 or 18 laps to come to pit road. So it worked out here, but, you know, the concern is it takes him a long time, or at least 25 laps, to gain back on the leader.
A little concern for the 19, just in that, you know, we heard him talk about the brake shake. Not a concern from a mechanical issue, but, you know, a lot of times, Steve, that brake shake goes away if you actually get the brakes hotter. The problem with that is on long runs here, you can actually melt the tire if the rotors get too hot. That heat goes into the wheel, it spreads into the tire, and actually melt the tire and cause a tire failure, Parker.
Right, Jeff, exactly. That's why James Small came on the radio after Martin said he was going to flip off those fans and help that brake shake and said we need to manage our temps. And one thing that happened at the end of stage 1 when they pitted, when the team got those 4 tires off, they took a long look at the right front off that 19 car. He was very fast in that long run, but they were looking at the inside shoulder and the temps they were developing in the wheel there, and just a little concerned with the temps that they saw on that right front of the 19. As you mentioned, we often see issues with getting those right fronts too hot here at this racetrack. So this is something that James Small wanted to keep on Martin Truex's mind about managing their temps. He has not given an update if he's turned those fans back on or where that stands at the moment. So we'll see where this goes on the long run.
He is knifing his way through traffic now. Martin Truex Jr. already a second, almost second and a half in front of Chase Elliott, who he just went by.
Well, when we looked at the numbers coming into this race, the 19 of Martin Truex Jr., this style of racetrack is definitely his signature, right? So he won Richmond races this year. He won here in the spring. He was running second in New Hampshire. I would use that to compare as close as possible to this racetrack, but got wrecked in the rain, brief rain shower. So his numbers at this low downforce, high horsepower, I call it a big short track. The 1 mile, 3/4 mile type speedways. He is so good at these tracks. Him and his crew chief have this setup just dialed in.
Back here, see Brad Keselowski in battle with Chase Briscoe back in 13th spot. A little surprised to see Brad running this far back. Thought he had a really good car in practice. We know
Briscoe's not going to be
Brad's
looking at
last race at
season.
Penske, going over to Roush Fenway. Start a new opportunity there. Going to be part owner. Going to be really hands-on, but I know he wants to finish his relationship with Penske off strong today.
Are they changing the name, by the way, of the organization? Because it's going to be a little bit harder to say Roush Fenway Keselowski.
I think he said in a couple weeks there'd be an announcement about that.
Okay.
But yes, that's a lot of words.
Brad Keselowski mentioned how great of an honor it's been racing for Roger Penske. He won Roger.
We got a crash. We got a crash.
And a caution now will come out here as double
take that
zero.
point
Went
out.
around and damage to the back of that car.
Dang, suck, Hal.
We mentioned right front failures. I think we may have just had one here toward the tail end of this run.
I hate you, Hal.
On tires, cars were due to come to pit road shortly. Right front tires down on that car, and the right front contact makes me think that he did have no control entering the corner.
Here in a straight line, never turn.
Yeah, we talked about how brake heat can cause a tire failure. Not run over anything, it just actually melts the tire.
Right on board Denny Hamlin's car, watch up front there. The car just blows the right front. I think you're right about a bead failure from brake tent, excessive tent.
Take that.
In the brake system.
Nobody cares about your house.
A lot of these teams will
You're
run
just
a
like
bead
Becky's,
cooler
you're just
or
like
put some
Becky's
air in
spin
that
house.
area of the wheel to try to keep the temperature down on that bead.
That was a hard hit. That car, when it got in the wall, it just, you see it almost come up in the air.
AMR safety team immediately to Quinn as he's climbing out of that car.
This second stage, 115 laps in length, 54 laps completed, so everyone was going to have to make a green flag pit stop, but I would expect all the leaders to come on pit road when pit road opens. This will put them in their fuel window to make it to the end of the second stage.
And this is Starcom's last race. They actually sold this team. This will be their last race in the Cup Series.
I want to take another look, and we mentioned how hard of a hit this was.
See how
He's fortunate enough to be able to get on the brakes just a little bit to take a little speed out of the car, but
getting ready to come to pit road. NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can always follow your favorite drivers with high-definition in-car cameras. Just visit NASCAR.com/driver. You can download the NASCAR mobile app today.
Well, we've seen how equally matched the championship 4 are. Some more comfortable, some more speed on short runs versus long runs. We'll see if that equal performance can turn over onto pit road as well. This is the type of racetrack you do not want to lose your track position, Parker.
No, you do not. And for Martin Truex Jr., he complained how he cannot
Back on the way
hustle
for
the
some
car early on the run. He just cannot be as aggressive as he wants to be. It obviously comes to him late in the run. His 4 Goodyear tires, Dave.
Denny Hamlin talked about the car being a little tight in the center late in the run. 4 Goodyear tires, Sunoco fuel, Kelly.
Chase Elliott says he's getting free late in the run, but he doesn't know how much tighter he wants to be at the beginning. It's a small track bar adjustment for tires and fuel, Marty.
Kyle Larson said we're better on this run, but we're still a ways off from the other guys. It's good for about 10 to 12 laps and gets too free, especially on exit, especially in turns 3 and 4. Another big swing for the 5-team pit crew delivered.
Elliott's
They
gonna
gave him a
win
couple of
on
spots.
pit
His
again.
teammate Chase Elliott holds on to the lead.
Truex losing 3 spots on pit road. So right now, they are trying to dig out of that
Be right
hole.
back.
Wednesday's most watched dramas. Oh, what are you doing? It's too restricting. She talked to me.
Gallo, you wait by the truck.
What you did was defy a direct order.
I've been riding 81 before you got here, and I'll ride it way after you're gone.
You saw what Roy Walton did. You saw what he did to one woman on your team. Roy Walton's dead. You covered it up. And all new Chicago Wednesday on NBC.
The Titans are rolling through the AFC. That's sensational. The Rams are flying in the NFC. What a play! Who will make a statement on football's biggest stake? Holy smokes! Another beauty on Sunday Night Football. Titans, Rams. Sunday Night Football on NBC and Peacock.
Rise and shine, New York. It's going to be a great day. Health First Medicare Advantage plans help you live a healthier life, so you can do what makes you happy. We offer plans with money-saving benefits, such as our flexible OTC Plus card, which gives you up to $170 a month for healthy foods, internet service, and more. Plus, you'll smile about dental services as low as $0, including dentures, crowns, and root canals, with no annual maximum. You'll also get up to $400 for eyewear and pay as little as $0 for hearing aids and prescription drugs. For a $0 premium, we've got you covered, whether you're home or traveling. So join 1.7 million Health First members. Call 1-855-859-4365. That's 1-855-859-4365. Health First Medicare Advantage plans, where healthy starts. Enrollment ends December 7th.
Ed Sheeran, plus Zach Greenfield. Next, Kelly.
NASCAR on NBC is brought to you by Ram Trucks, the only truck brand to win Motor Trend Truck of the Year 3 years in a row. Credit One Bank, official credit card of NASCAR. GoCreditOne.com. And by New Coke Zero Sugar. Now even more delicious.
In 2022, NASCAR is coming to USA. All the incredible action. I can't believe what I just saw. All the edge of your seat moments. And all the characters.
History made once again.
Bubba Wallace on a new home. NASCAR on USA. Coming summer 2022.
So excited to be bringing you races from USA as it debuts as NBC Sports cable home for NASCAR in 2022. 11 exclusive weekends on USA for Cup and Xfinity Series. Part of 1,500 plus hours of sports programming in 2022. The first Cup Series race will be Road America 4th of July weekend. First Xfinity Series race will be Nashville in June.
Well, as we went away to break, we showed that the 19 lost a couple spots on pit road. Watch right here. Focus on the front tire changer.
What?
A little slow.
USA?
You see a little trouble pulling it off. I mean, that doesn't jump out as a glaring issue, but that's really it. The left side is pretty clean on the 19. That's all it takes to lose spots in this championship race, Rutledge.
Guys, I know we get so excited with these restarts because when you look at the area that these drivers cover, it's like they're going from the second story of the roof down to the basement and then back up. Jim Burton, for one of these drivers, how much can you really see during one of these restarts when they go 5, sometimes wide?
Right, the problem is when you're on the inside lane, you have no idea where the guy is on the outside. It's the strangest intersection as you enter turn 3. You got to go back up onto the racetrack to get the angle right, and you don't know where the guy is. You're just hoping he's going to give you room.
Is it in the back of your mind? The 4 and the 9 side by side, the history they have had already this year. Nine with a great launch and will clear the 4. Here comes 5 of Kyle Larson.
So the 19 on the bottom got really slow. It stacked up behind him. This is really important for Martin Truex Jr. We know he has a long run car, but he can't give up so much room.
Chase Briscoe in the 14 falling back quickly. Chase Briscoe leading right now the Rookie of the Year competition between he and Anthony Alfredo. Look at this close call.
And Blaney on the outside. I mean, it just gets so tight. Here he comes. This is what is really important, in my opinion, for Martin Truex Jr. if he's going to win this race in the championship. What kind of race do we get? Do we get a long run? Do we get a short run? For him to win, he needs to maybe work on making his car drive better, taking off. This is a great opportunity to make a change and see if it works.
Well, if I'm James Small, I'm getting off the pit box and pepping up my pit crew. Because I agree with what you're saying with car adjustments, Jeff, but the other thing this 19 has to do is stay within touch of the Hendrick cars. You can't spot them spots on pit road, then spot them 2 more on a restart and just assume your driver is going to continue to drive to the front. That's a lot of wear and tear on the car.
And we saw now the racetrack, there's not a ton of sun on it, but the turns 3 and 4, as the sun starts to set, it's going to be shaded. And that's going to change this racetrack. It's going to change who's fast, whose car is working best. Oh, we got a car in the wall. Front tire down on the 47 car, Stenhouse. Broke the right front suspension with the contact. It's probably going to end the day for him.
Yeah, he just went into turn 3 and the car went straight. That left front tire, as you pointed, being flat. Dale, I'm assuming contact on a restart. That's been the signature of these flat tires early into our run.
So we're going to look at some replays, hopefully, of this car, but it either had some contact or going on this transition.
Oh, yeah, Jones.
On this transition across the racetrack onto the apron and then back up, that can be so hard on the sidewall of the tire and how it marries to the contact patch or the tread of the tire. And we see failures at tracks like Fontana and other places because of the bumps that kind of flex and bends that joint in the tire, and it could be doing that here today.
Yeah, like a coat hanger. You bend it too many times, it breaks.
So a better week for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got engaged than his weekend is going now.
uses the legendary Richard Petty number 43 car to drive down the cost of healthcare. It's now the law. Hospitals must post all prices up front. Demand hospital prices. It's our money to save.
I need to try it first.
Welcome to the J500, folks. We have a strong lineup today. Starting in row number 1 with the Wings.
A real contender coming in with a lot of heat, Bob.
Next is Sushi, who's been on a bit of a roll of late. And finally, we have Cheeseburger.
A rare choice for Jenny.
All right, let's see what Jenny's going to order. Wow, tacos with the upset.
No matter what you're craving, order from DoorDash and get it delivered right to your door.
DoorDash, get more to your door.
Annie Live, December 2nd on NBC.
The WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. It takes nerves of steel and determination. The battles are fierce.
Look at this. Let's go.
This is multi-class racing. Some of the coolest, most exotic sports cars that you will see anywhere in the world. How can you not love sports car racing?
And yes, we do love sports car racing. And Steve, you got a front row seat next Saturday, the championship finale. Coverage starting at noon Eastern on NBC, then continue on NBCSN at 3 o'clock. That's the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship from Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, Road Atlanta, such a great racetrack and a great battle. The Daytona prototype is down to a 2-car battle between the 10 of Wayne Taylor Racing and the 31 of Wheeling Engineering. Remember that 31 car? That's the car Chase Elliott drove at the Rolex at the 24 back in January. So a little NASCAR tie-in is going to be exciting to see that IMSA season come to a close.
NASCAR Cup Series Championship race from Phoenix Raceway, telecast presented by USAA as we get ready for the restart. Under 47 laps to go here in stage 2.
We talked a lot about pit crews. Dale, Jeff, you guys stood at the front of the grid that entire pre-race show and talked about this being a team sport, and everyone was going to have to show up and do their best. Sometimes stats tell the truth. Well, here it is. Here's the ranking of the 4 pit crews coming into this race, and as you see, the 19 of Truex, not much. We're talking 0.2 of a second average. Slower than Kyle Larson, but today they have definitely been a little slow. Now, the good thing is, first half of the race, we'll forget completely about those 2 stops if they show up here at the second half and hold the lead or perhaps gain the lead for Truex. So, you know, what have you done for me lately works good, is what you've done lately, Dave, is great stuff.
Steve, Denny Hamlin's crew, however, needs to gather themselves for the last pit stops of today. There will be a few of them, but so far today they're minus on 2 stops, even on another. And how did Chris Gabehart, the crew chief, handle it? Well, he didn't. He didn't come down angrily off the pit box. He didn't tell Denny Hamlin exactly where or what went wrong to put that into the driver's head. They are professionals. They won a championship last night in the Xfinity Series, but they have to find a way as athletes to become better at what they're doing today.
I was a pit box climber, Rick. I'd come down. Wish sometimes I hadn't. I'd come down and kind of hands up in the air, and you know they're trying as hard as they can on the left side. You see that the Chews, Harvick, and Elliott will make up the front row. This Chews, guys, I know it seems like second nature, but it's changed this racing. You drivers always complain about being in the wrong lane. Now it's up to you. You decide where you want to be, to the left or to the right of that V. Just don't hit that orange box. It's a penalty. So I love the fact that, hey, if you don't like what lane you're in, choose another one. This is back on you drivers.
Yeah, absolutely, especially here where you're 5 and 6 wide sometimes going down into turn 1, and you've got a lot of options, a lot of people trying to do a lot of things to you and put you in a bad situation. You get to choose, you know, kind of how you get to choose your fate and control your destiny a little bit more with this rule. I love it. The drivers do too.
Comes field once again, approaching the Geico restart zone. Elliott and Kevin Harvick making up row 1. And Larson back there in row 2. A great restart. Pushing the 4 into turn 1 now. And the 9 up high.
My goodness, look at all of that going on behind these guys back in the pack. 4 wide, funneling onto the back straightaway. It just doesn't seem like it works. Look like Denny Hamlin is, right? Little pit stop. Look where he is, back in the pack. That's not where you want to be in the middle of this crazy restart. It's easy to get your car damaged.
And as we get further into this race, those restarts will get more intense because the drivers will have more urgency, less likely to give and take. Oh, a little contact there with the 12. He's on the outside quarter panel of the 4. Like Harvick knew he was there, was trying to clear himself a little bit. Was able to make the pass or keep the position.
You mentioned the 4 and the 12, 2 Fords. It's been well documented. Kevin Harvick, 9 wins a year ago, no wins this year. But I really think it's been a struggle for most of the Ford camp. I mean, they came to Phoenix. The only opportunity to win a championship was with Austin Cindric in the Xfinity Series. They had no cars advance. Although 3 Team Penske cars made the round of 8, none were able to make the championship 4.
Harvick trying to hold off Blaney now as he runs in the 4th position to get a non-playoff driver. Blaney, Benedetto, William Byron, Eric Almirola, all a part of the top 10 right now and non-playoff drivers.
See Denny Hamlin back here. Eric Almirola trying to get underneath him. These two have been going at it. Denny's car is not exactly where he wants it to be right now. Let's listen to what he's talking about.
He's fired off okay. Traffic just sucks. I mean, we just cannot keep losing so many spots up here. Yeah, they're on it. Believe me, we'll get it.
I heard him say he fired off okay. There's nothing wrong with the car. It's just get back behind all this. And it's very difficult to maneuver where you want. He's like, guys, we've got to fix these pit stops. Lost 4 spots on that last stop. Just can't keep giving it up. Parker.
Well, guys, another thing that becomes clear here as we have more restarts is where you want to be in relation to that choose will take a lesson in 19 radio before they took the last restart.
What do you think of the restart, Blaney? I think I imagine you would be second car inside. What do you think third car outside would be better? No, I'm not giving up a row. Simple.
And that's the key. I'm not giving up a row for Martin Truex. So he was thinking maybe, or the team was thinking maybe you want to be on the outside. That's where he was making a lot of time early in the race. But he has noted he doesn't want to give up a row at all in any position because he thinks he can make them up. And he dives to the bottom there on Kyle Larson.
A great bottom battle, the 19 and 5. Give up a row. Because remembering, as they choose, we just went over the choose rule. Everybody loves the top. So Truex says, well, man, if I can move up an entire row, 2 positions to go to the bottom, I know that's the non-preferred lane, and I'd rather be there. I mean, he is a big fan of the choose rule because a week ago at Martinsville, we were coming to that late race restart, and everybody chose the bottom, and he gets to move up 2 spots on the outside. That was the 2 points that he needed. It took a lot of pressure off in those closing laps to advance.
And as Truex tries to make a pass on this 5 car, and the 4 of Harvick closes in, as well as the 12 back there of Blaney, it kind of takes a few tools out of the toolbox for the 19. He has to all of a sudden start being a little more defensive about his line. This opportunity to dive to the bottom, he can't quite do that as much because of the potential of 4 car jumping to his outside quarter panel. He's going to have to make this pass quickly without, maybe losing a position to Harvick. Marty, what you got on the 5 car out here?
Well, same song, different
Oh,
Briscoe, are you kidding me?
Chase Briscoe on the 14 into the wall. Backed it in there. You see the damage to the left rear.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Oh.
He was running 12.
Hard lick right there. Disappointing for Chase Briscoe. Having a solid run today. It's been a struggle. So hard for these young drivers without practice to get into a rhythm. Let's go back and see what happened to Chase.
We're going to see a replay here of the contact, possibly, or some issue with the left. Look at some debris or something on the left rear, right in front of the tire. Maybe there was some contact. He senses the left rear tire's flat. He senses it and lifts real early.
So there was some contact or something that has damaged the side skirt on that car, and somehow or another, either the contact or the damage, he's flattened that left rear tire. He sensed it lifts early right here. He's like, oh no, I'm in trouble. The tire is completely flat. Kyle Busch does a great job not running into the back of him too hard, but he's already going to wreck, regardless of whether Kyle's there or not. The fuel cell does an amazing job keeping the fuel inside the tank.
The field working their way onto pit road again, Parker.
Right, and Martin Truex Jr. was told to just follow the leaders there, as he did coming down here. They get 4 tires on this 19 car. Once again, just looking for a little bit more stability on the early portion of the run, Dave.
Denny Hamlin radioed his crew, I'm just not good enough on the short runs. It'll be an air pressure adjustment here. He just needs a good stop from the crew. Kelly.
Chase Elliott said his 9 car fired off better, and he said it was turning better from the get-go. No changes for that 9 car, just 4 tires and fuel, Marty.
Kyle Larson said with that cycle of tires, tighter in the center, looser on exit, they have not been able to get rid of that all day long. You got to wonder how many tools in the toolbox Cliff Daniels has. The pit crew, though, they deliver. They've been the best throughout the playoffs. They get Kyle Larson up to the lead.
Larson does a great job. A big bounce back for Truex. They were bleeding spots on pit road, both him and Hamlin. Great stops out of the Joe Gibbs Racing team. Trying to right the ship here about halfway through.
That's for transmission.
A lot of people think dealing with COPD is a walk in the park. If I have something to help me breathe better, everything would be fun and nice. But I still have bad days, flare-ups, which can permanently damage my lungs. My lungs need protection against flare-ups. So, it's time to get real. Because in the real world, our lungs deserve the real protection of Breztri. Breztri gives you better breathing, symptom improvement, and flare-up protection. It's the first and only COPD medicine proven to reduce flare-ups by 52%.
Breztri won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. It is not for asthma. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Don't take Breztri more than prescribed. Breztri may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
For real protection, ask your doctor about Breztri.
Just 3 rounds remain in Travis Pastrana's Nitro Rallycross. And winding down, you can watch it all on PeacockTV.com. Sign up there. Kyle Busch is going to be racing November 13th and 14th. That's at Phoenix's Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park. That's later this week. The other drivers that he will be battling against, other than Travis Pastrana, will be Tanner Faust, Scott Speed.
On the way to break, we talked about the solid kind of pit stops by the 2 Joe Gibbs Racing cars. Let's compare the 2 Hendrick cars, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. The pit times reasonably close, 0.4 of a second, but the driver time, look right here. I mean, that is a lot. Half a second just with driver time. So you think that's pit road speed, but I actually think it's due to qualifying. That great qualifying run by Kyle Larson gave them the first pick. They're at pit stall 1. When they leave, they only have to go to right there. That's where you're scored off pit road. It's about 30 feet, 40 feet. So while it looks like Larson's way better with his pit road speed, he actually doesn't even have to accelerate. Look, he's going to be at the white line right there. Chase Elliott is going way, way faster than him, but he scored way back at that first white line. That makes his overall time look so much shorter. What I love about this race, this isn't the metric, this isn't all these different things. No, it was effort. It was qualifying. On Saturday, Kyle Larson put down an amazing lap that gave him that opportunity to pick the first pit stall It's all starting to add up to the 5. We'll see if that's the difference maker.
But it was better pit stops for both the 11 and the 19 this time. We had talked about they had a little deficit on pit road.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of like a field goal kicker. If you don't want your last kick to be the miss and then have to walk out there and have a game-winning kick. So they had some struggles early. Now here we are about halfway through the race. They kind of, what I'll call, have a normal pit stop. Look at that. Everything went like we've practiced, went like we've done all year long. That will allow them to build some confidence as the pressure builds and we get to the end of this race, Parker.
Well, guys, a little bit of concern right now on the 19 team. If we get a close-up shot of their front grille, there's apparently could be some trash there that they were not able to get off underneath the stop. Martin was asking if they had any ideas of a way to remove it here under caution. The team said, we'll just have to deal with it and see where it goes. But right now, a little bit concerned about maybe some trash on that grill they weren't able to get off.
They're going to like this shot then, because I don't see anything on the grill. Mission accomplished by the driver.
If anything, that yellow piece over the right front brake, their brake opening compared to the Chevrolets is so minimal. Something like that could completely change how the right front cools. But otherwise, yeah, Steve looks pretty clear.
Talk about Denny Hamlin stop before, how he lost spots. Well, his team really responded. That was their best stop of the year right there. Bring your best to the championship battle. That's what you got to do. You make a mistake, you got to look past it and recover. That's what they did. Great stop that time.
See this? You know what looks different here? Yeah. Those aren't playoff drivers up front, right? Cars stayed on the racetrack. Reddick, Kurt Busch, Bowman, and Suarez all stayed on the racetrack. Larson chose the bottom. I love this choice here. Even though it's not preferred in turn 1, he's going to have a lot of real estate left if his car launches. Behind him, the other playoff drivers. This is going to be nerve-wracking now that they're in traffic.
And Hamlin chose the top. Let's see how that affects him with those slower cars. Old tires on that outside lane.
Restart. Reddick and Kurt Busch. Now the playoffs go on the way. They got
Reddick and Kurt Busch back up through the gears.
Whoa!
Chase Elliott quick to the inside. Here comes Kyle Larson as well. Larson jumps up to the lead.
It was like a river of playoff drivers to the bottom. Impressive by both the 5 and the 9. Oh, they squeezed each other.
Whoa!
Little contact was made. We saw the 9 wiggling around as the 11 and 19 are fighting back here for position as well.
And he did a great job working himself through those slower cars in the outside lane. He went to the middle. Now he's taking the fight to Truex, hoping to catch Truex behind the 1 car. Used Kurt Busch as a pick right here. Clears him.
Truex falling in behind the 1 now as the 11 of Denny Hamlin goes below the 1 of Kurt Busch and clears him. It looks as though the 19 will do the same.
That's the replay of the 2 Hendrick teammates down the back straightaway. Oh, man. That was close. Sorted out. And the Gibbs guys continue to battle behind them.
Just 27 laps to go in stage 2.
Time after time, we come here and see the performance of the Championship 4. And once again, they're running 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th on the racetrack.
Past halfway of the race. So the season winding down, less than half a race remaining, and a champion still to be determined. And no one has stood out. We've seen Martin Truex Jr. on the longer runs get up front, but now it's Kyle Larson on the short run leading the field as Chase Elliott right on his back bumper.
It just screams kind of execution, guys, right? I'm not sure anyone is just so head and shoulders above one another that they can...
Oh, Larson!
Man, that had me nervous. I was saying that you could kind of overperform. I think it's going to come down to execution, perhaps. Who makes the mistake that costs them?
So right there, Chase Elliott saw a weakness in Kyle Larson. If he can get to his rear bumper, get to that rear quarter panel, get that car loose. Larson did a great job of clearing him off of turns before. Now Chase Elliott's going to try to get right to that rear bumper. See right there, that makes the 5 car wiggle around a little bit, takes some air off that spoiler, gets him loose. Chase Elliott knows he's got to keep doing it.
He's putting the pressure on him.
Larson out of the high side here, moves up the track a little bit. Should have a good run off the corner exit there to stretch that out. Maybe a car length and a half by the time we get to turn 1.
throughout the entire season, Chase Elliott, the reigning champion, and he's had to watch his teammate Kyle Larson go out and win 9 races and be the dominant car all season.
Well, I understand there's a watch party for Hendrick Motorsports back in North Carolina. Rick Hendrick here on premise. They all have to be nervous when they see their 2 championship entries. I would say inches apart, but I think they were actually touching. We'll call that contact between the 2.
When the 5 car gets that momentum off of turn 4 and gets this type of a lead into 1, it allows him to do what he's doing right now, move around the racetrack and see if he can find some pace and speed so that he can keep that 9 car off his rear bumper exiting turn 2. And he's done that. He's moved up the racetrack, sort of normalized and equaled the speed or the pace of the 9 car.
He's going to have to beat Kyle Larson, where Kyle Larson has been great all year long, and Chase Elliott has not. Chase Elliott has not won an oval race since this race last year where he won the championship. So if he's going to beat Kyle Larson or the rest of the guys who win this, he's going to have to step his game up today and do something he hasn't done in over a year.
There's car on the Rick Hendrick. This man has a talent of rallying people around him. He builds relationships with his employees from the top of the business all the way to the bottom, and they are motivated to go to battle for him and go to work and please him, make him happy. They want to get a pat on the back from that man when they come back to the shop on Monday.
Junior, no surprise that was on top of the 48 pit box. He's not going to sit on either one of these title contenders. Tries to find, an ally in the group, but not on either side of the battle here.
Little slide there out of the 9, and Chase Elliott loses a couple spots as far as car length. We go NASCAR nonstop.
Another NASCAR nonstop demo team.
Check that out. Internet that's one step ahead.
That's cute, but my internet streams to my ride.
Yeah? Well, mine's always got my back.
Okay, chill. Mine's faster than Harvick.
Okay, that's fast.
Me? My internet's so fast, it keeps up.
Yep, that's because you all have the same internet. Xfinity X5. So powerful, it keeps one-upping itself.
Can your internet do that?
One crispy Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich for you. And a delicious crispy spicy one for whoever needs a little kick in the keister. Get the Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich in classic or spicy for just $3.99. It's finger-licking good.
Open.
Here you go, buddy.
Thank you.
You may kiss the bride.
Love you, Dad.
Oh my God. Our baby girl.
We get out. Fired up. Hook big ones. We get out and rip it. And we track them down. So crack a Mountain Dew. And get out and do.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bottle. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
Los Angeles, the Busch Classic at Los Angeles Coliseum.
Hello? You will solve the great mystery. Peter will point the way.
There has to be some hidden meaning. I can't stop.
Come here.
Gap stays the same between Larson and Elliott. We see from our aerial coverage brought to you by Geico, looking down on this mile racetrack and the different lines that are being run. Larson, that high line. Chase Elliott running even below the yellow line, down on the apron through 1 and 2, and now into 3 and 4. And different lines again.
As This battle just shows you how important pit stops and restarts are going to be. I believe the 9 is probably a touch faster than the 5, but not fast enough to find a way by the non-preferred lane. The 5 goes to where the grip is the highest, so that puts the 9 in a little bit of a deficit. Marty.
Rick, first meaningful laps up front for Kyle Larson. Led the first lap of the race, but now has led 20 in a row. And we talked about what does Cliff Daniels have left in the toolbox. Well, even the crew chief learning during the race. Listen.
Learned a little bit of something from air pressure runs ago that we didn't incorporate that last time, but we did this time, so should be better for you.
So obviously not out of tools to make the 5 car better. They've taken several big swings at it, Kelly, and they've clearly made it better.
Well, we've seen some close, hard racing between these two teammates, but they definitely made some contact right on that restart, and Chase Elliott wanted to make sure his number 9 car was okay.
Not as tight there. Felt like I fired off a little better. You know, I don't know if I'm going to pay for that or not, but we'll see. Yeah, copy.
Chase asked the team if the nose of this car was okay. They said it looks like it. I could see them taking a look at some still shots of the front end of that car. The latest message to him, just focus forward.
Or Chase Elliott, his comment, Kelly, was, I took off better. I don't know if I'm going to pay for it. So what he's talking about is the car had better speed. When they dropped the green flag on the restart, it took off better. He could be more aggressive with the car, had more grip. The concern with that is, does that mean it's going to hurt the tires and not be as good on the long run? He didn't know. He said, let's see what happens. And if it does do that, Junior, then they'll make an air pressure adjustment or some other adjustment on the car to try to make the car where it can take off fast and not lose speed on the long run. There's a contact right there. Larson and Elliott.
Oh, man. See how it pushed down the quarter panel on the 5 car, and a little daylight between the quarter panel and the spoiler appeared. Seemed to go back into position. But you do not want to affect the body on these race cars at least a little bit, especially that's a critical area on the right rear quarter panel for side force and down force.
So I'm going to go to stage 2.
Way back on lap 2, Chase Elliott had the fastest lap, the Xfinity fastest lap. Averaged around this 1 mile racetrack over 134 miles per hour.
Interesting to watch these two run. You know, you'd think as the run gets longer, both of them will migrate to the top of the racetrack, but Chase is still working the bottom of the racetrack. Even down on this end, he's still rolling the bottom of turn 1 and 2, and that tells me that maybe the resin is neutralizing a little bit. Maybe it's losing a little bit of that advantage that we've seen from it all weekend long with the trucks, Xfinity. Everybody would end up there. Maybe some of the grip and the speed and pace is starting to go away with that high side as we get through this race.
And this race is going quickly. 5 laps remaining in stage 2. As up the track, Larson goes once again, and Elliott stays right there on the bottom of the racetrack. And the gap stays about the same, 0.3 of a second separating the two.
You can see a little bit of a fade in the darkness of the high groove, where everyone has ran right on the edge of it, right on the lower side of that resin. It's faded a little bit, like it's more wearing away. You may, as a driver, search a little bit higher to see if you can find some place on the racetrack higher that the cars haven't used to find more grip. But it's going to be a little bit dirty up there.
You mentioned the contact between Chase Elliott and the 5 and the quarter panel of the 5 getting bent down. Well, you know what else it did? It got flared out, got rid of the back, and pushed that right rear out. That is spectacular for the 5 car. That is what you just call good fortune, right? I mean, he got ran into by his teammate. Nothing you want to see happen over the course of the race. You hope it goes the right direction. And today, it went the right way.
And the way you want to look at that as a fan, the rear spoiler on the car adds downforce. That's like a spoiler on the side of the car now, adding side force, increasing how he can drive this car into the corner, how much deeper he can lean on this car and swing the back. He has an advantage aerodynamically that his teammate does not.
So let's ride along with Kyle Larson on top of this on top of the roof, and I want you to start paying attention to something. The sun is setting.
Oh, 2 hours.
So into turn 3, they dealt with this in qualifying yesterday. Look at the glare. So right now, the drivers is going to get very difficult. See the glare on the racetrack right there? You cannot see that yellow line. It's going to get worse for a little while as that sun continues to set. The drivers are going to have to start looking for other visuals that they can get their eyeballs on to help guide them to where they need to be.
And Larson, it has been his stage. He's led 32 laps, going on the 33rd lap, which is the final lap of stage 2. Kyle Larson, talk about he and his crew chief, Cliff Daniels. Well, things have clicked for them.
Kyle
Larson is going to win stage 2. And now he has the advantage over the other Championship 4 drivers.
The Championship 4 running order right now, yep.
All 4 of the Championship 4 drivers finishing in the top 4 that time. Still up there in contention, Blaney, Harvick, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Logano, and William Byron. They round out the top 10 in stage 2. The pit crews are doing their job.
Okay, we'll be right back to the pit stop. Just next.
Where the hell are we? Your mom and I are alive. I saw flashes. I saw my family.
Run!
How is that possible?
I know what I've gone through to be here.
It's been quite a journey. Appreciating how awesome it is to be an athlete representing Team USA.
And everything that goes into it.
Never giving up. Telling yourself, let's go, let's go. I just want to know that I gave it my all.
Prove to myself that I can be amazing. Yeah.
How far you go begins with how far you're willing to go. Delta is proud to be the official airline of Team USA.
This is Courtney Perno with another reason to love Sugar House Online Casino. Sugar House gives you the fastest way to turn your bonus money into cash. Players only need to play through the bonus one time to cash out their winnings. Not all bonuses are created equal. Some sites make you play through bonuses 10 times, 20 times, or more. But Sugar House gives you a simple, fast way to earn cash with no gimmicks. Play with a winner. Go to playsugarhouse.com today.
If you're moving, make sure you power your new home with the connectivity experience it deserves. And that's with the latest technology from Optimum. Our 1 gig internet will connect all your devices without slowing down. And paired with our smart Wi-Fi 6 and new gateway, you'll get 3 times faster speeds and greater coverage than previous Wi-Fi technology. Plus, our entertainment experience comes with streaming apps and more built right in. Make your move with the power to keep your whole home connected with the latest technology from Optimum. Call today to get a great mover's deal, only from Optimum.
We're talking Giants Raiders tonight on Sports Final.
It's NASCAR Cup Series Championship race from Phoenix Raceway telecast presented by USAA and back into the hands of the pit crew. Parker.
We saw the weakness of the 19 car there on the front.
On the way.
Lacking overall grip wheel to contend with the front 3 there. It's before tires and adjustments to the 19 days.
Hamlin was asked if he was loose anywhere that he could not stand. He said no. Jack Van Kellen Mills will make his 3rd chassis adjustment of the day, Kelly.
Chase Elliott said his biggest struggle is running up high. Said the car gets super lazy up there. He's much better running down low. It's 4 tires for the 9 car, Marty.
All the work on the 5 car finally paying off. Kyle Larson said, we fixed the exit. I like it there. I need to turn the center better. More of that last adjustment. You see that big wedge adjustment. Pit crew had kept them on the lead last time. They do it once again.
Oh, Kyle Larson.
All day long so far, Rick.
They do for all 4 of the championship.
We're back to the final stage. We have the Championship 4 Phoenix, who will be crowned this season the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion. And also, guys, reminder, next year races are also recorded.
If you've been playing down your COPD, it's time to make a stand. Start a new day with Trelegy. No once-daily COPD medicine has the power to treat COPD in as many ways as Trelegy.
With 3 medicines in 1 inhaler, Trelegy helps people breathe easier and improves lung function. It also helps prevent future flare-ups. Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Take a stand and start a new day with Trelegy. Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy and save at Trelegy.com.
Pringles Original. Barbecue. Pizza. The barbecue pizza stack. Where is everyone? Pringles. Endless flavors to stack. Will is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon. So now he's free to become Wonderland Will. Deck the halls with printer paper. Recycled, of course.
We knew it was going to be a battle, and it has become a showdown in the desert. The championship war once again have risen to the top. Kyle Larson right now with the advantage, being chased by his teammate from Hendrick Motorsports. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, back there the better of the two of the Joe Gibbs Racing. Mark Truex Jr., the 4th of the championship 4. Let's get to the Ruoff Mortgage Peacock pit box with KP, DJ, and Brad.
All right, guys, we look at this. 2 questions. How aggressive are the restarts going to be from here on out? Because it's so hard to pass, number 1. And number 2, these guys said it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a slugfest. Have you seen anybody grab this race by the throat yet? And who do you think that could be when they do it?
Restarts are going to be crazy. I can't wait. It's going to be fun to watch. These guys are all over each other. No, I haven't. I mean, all 4 of these race cars, they've all performed extremely well today. I mean, look what they're running. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't separate them. It's going to be a mistake, I think, to separate them.
You know, one thing that I saw right there in that stage towards the end, Kyle Larson on the top of the racetrack making great speed. And I don't know if it had anything to do with the right rear quarter panel getting pushed out a little bit or not, but he found something right there that is going to make him hard to pass.
Yeah, and if he's hard to pass, let me tell you something. It's going to be a long day for the rest of these guys. Rutledge?
Kyle, I'm over here on the perch, and although it's a beautiful day, there are some clouds showing up, and we heard Jeff talk about with the sun setting how it changes for the drivers. But Steve Letarte, I'm wondering for you as a crew chief, when you can have a 10 or 15 degree swing in a temperature on a day like this, for crew chief, do you start backwards to forwards on how you plan for that, or do you start at the beginning of the race and then try to figure out how do I need to change so the car is where I want it by the end of the race?
So I think you want to start with how the race is going to begin, but Rutledge, to your point, it's the desert. It's cold in the morning, cool in the evenings, hot in the middle of the day. You got to have really good notes. You can have all the simulation you want, but good old-fashioned notes like they taught you in high school, Rick. Very detailed notes on what adjustments and what swings the track goes through. That's what makes that sticky stuff they spray down so difficult to read, because now you have a temperature swing, and is that sticky stuff getting worse or better as the race goes?
I struggled on that note-taking
thing
in high school.
I borrowed from others. It worked well.
The group plan. And Hendrick Motorsports lines up in row 1, and then it's Joe Gibbs Racing in row 2.
Oh, what happened?
Larson and Elliott on the high line, low line. Then it's Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. on the high line and low line of row 2. Kyle Busch in the 18 has come up here to challenge for a top 5 spot. As we're back underway, it's the final stage of the 2021 season.
Chase Elliott did not get a great launch on that restart. That's allowed Denny Hamlin to get to his outside. Chase still cleared him in 3 and 4, 1 and 2.
And not a great start for the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Right now, Harvick on his outside trying to take 4th away.
That's going to be hard to do. Harvick's going to fight hard.
It
Down
goes
the straightaway, Truex launches forward. But again, side by side into turn 1. Truex way down the racetrack, trying to go the shorter distance, is able to use that to his advantage and take the spot.
Kills his exit speed, but it's okay. He gained the position that he needed to gain. He's got track position, and now he was blocked down the back straightaway. Now he gets off and rolling.
While this is going on, 2 HMS Hendrick cars are driving away from Denny Hamlin, put a little bit of distance between themselves. Short run speed in this 11 car may need to improve if we get late yellows.
But now with track position, he's able to gauge himself and understand where they're beating him. Before, when he was having bad pit stops and he was not restarting near them, he didn't know. He just knew they were faster, but he didn't know where. Now, as a driver, you can start understanding, okay, crew chief, here's what I need. Here are the changes that I need to be better on this short run.
Well, you may only get one shot at those changes. 112 laps to go. Every car will have to make a trip to pit road for fuel. They cannot make it to the finish. Maybe more than one trip if you think tires are important and we get some yellows. But if this ran green, one green flag pit stop still required to finish the race.
Now Denny has company with his teammate Martin Truex Jr. We're going to ride on the roof of the 19 car with the Toyota Camry. Watch the balance of this 11 car. See what Denny's struggling with. Obviously not happy with the car right this minute. They both dive down in the bottom of turn 3 and 4. Truex tries to get in the gas a little too soon. Cost him a little bit of time here on corner exit to the flag stand.
And as we ride along with these two, the two in front of them are getting smaller. The Hendrick Motorsports car's pulling away. Now Martin looking to the inside of Hamlin for third.
Hamlin's going to use that high side momentum and really make Martin work for this position on the bottom of the racetrack.
In NASCAR racing, if you're a tenth of a second off in a lap, that's a fair amount. Well, Denny Hamlin right here is 0.3 of a second off of the two Hendrick teammates in front of him.
Yeah, the speed in Larson and Chase's car. 27-16, 27-25 behind them. The two Gibbs cars, both 27-50s.
You mentioned what a dominant season it has been for the 5 of Kyle Larson. Well, really, the whole organization at Hendrick Motorsports, they have led over 4,000 laps this year. The last time a team led more laps than Hendrick Motorsports has led this season was back when Junior Johnson was fielding teams back in 1972, so 50 years. A long time since teams have been able to put together what Hendrick has done this year.
And I bet Larson's led half of those, if not more.
Well, remember, guys, it was a few years ago we were saying, what's wrong with Hendrick, right? I mean, we're so used to seeing this team dominate and win championships, and they were not anywhere near it, and that has completely flipped. They now have gone back to the Hendrick Motorsports that we know they can lead races, win races, and win championships.
And while you want to give credit to them, and they deserve it, you also got to give credit to the manufacturer Chevrolet. They did not have a great race car. Several years ago, they kind of reinvented themselves and improved their product and brought a better race car for all of their teams to the racetrack, Marty.
And how about this pace out of the Hendrick Motorsports cars and the Chevys up front? And we talked about Kyle Larson all day long. Really good on the short run, maybe not so good on the long run, but does the opportunity to work on the car several times, maybe pay an advantage for the 5. Listen to what Cliff Daniels thinks.
Make sure to just run your lane, run your line. You did a good job holding him off the last time when he was pressuring you there. And I know that we're going to be better than those guys on the long run now. We've had plenty of opportunities to work on our car. We're going to have it better for you. Okay.
So, Steve, sometimes when you have a car that's kind of off in the first of the race, you get more opportunities to take big swings at it. Those swings have certainly paid off so far for Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson.
Well, we've seen dominant cars this year, Rick, but adjustments throughout the race matter each and every week.
Let's go NASCAR nonstop. That's the thing.
Check that out. Internet that's one step ahead.
My internet streams to my ride.
Yeah? Well, mine's always got my back.
Okay, chill. Mine's faster than Harvick.
Okay, that's fast.
My internet's so fast, it keeps up. Yep, that's because you all have the same internet. Xfinity X5. So powerful, it keeps one-upping itself.
Can your internet do that?
Well, that's the thing about claims, you see. They don't happen on your schedule. I mean, take a chestnut. It doesn't just say, oh, beg pardon, sir, but it's now a good time for a jolly bit of window cracking. Oh, I mean, if they did, you wouldn't need a Geico claims team that's available 24/7. But, near as I can tell, chestnuts don't talk. Or maybe they're just really quiet.
Geico, your claims team is here for you 24/7.
Well, got things to do, Mr. Chestnut, so...
This one goes out to Jess from her friend
guy's chest, they wanted to say good luck on the interview.
Confidence looks great on you. Toyota, let's go places. At PNC Bank, we believe in the power of taking steps forward, moving ahead, whatever the pace and whatever the size. That's why we set out to help make it easier for everyone to move forward financially. With small business, personal banking, wealth, and corporate solutions that help you reach your goals and plan for the future.
It's a girl.
We're doing everything we can to help you get where you want to be. Because sometimes a little help is all you need. See how we can make a difference for you at PNC Bank.
The Titans are rolling through the AFC.
That's sensational.
The Rams are flying in the NFC.
What a play.
Who will make a statement on football's biggest stage?
Holy smokes.
Another beauty on Sunday Night Football. Titans, Rams. Sunday Night Football on NBC and Peacock.
NBC's La Brea is TV's #1 news show, and it's keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. Don't miss an earth-shattering, all-new La Brea. It's Tuesday on NBC. I want to take a look at the Ruoff Mortgage Keys to Victory Lane, guys.
Yeah, no mistakes. We've seen these playoffs have been completely full of mistakes. At the wrong time, also late in the race, you just cannot afford a mistake if you're going to win this championship.
And these restarts are going to be crazy, and you got to take advantage of that. Put your guys around you in some bad situations, make them have to lift, take a bunch of spots, make it happen.
All right, crew chiefs, adjustments, 98 to go. You're going to see a driver at least one more time. Short run, long run, tight, loose. You've heard all that all day long. What's going to be the magical tweak that's going to get your car to victory lane?
Listen in to 11 radio just before the restart.
Oh, wow. I've got a parachute on the right rear. That's nice. Yeah, that's cool. Looks like do damage. Yeah, he's not going to fight free.
And we're talking about that damage on the right rear quarter panel of the 5 car that Steve explained to us, how that's helping that car. Denny sees it, and he's jealous. I would be too, Denny. I would be too, buddy. Here's how the contact happened, and it's incident happened between him and his teammate. And there it is. Big spoiler. On the side of the car, creating downforce.
Finally forces
and he's not going to be loose into the corner like Denny said. He's going to have a much more comfortable entry. You'll be able to drive deeper into the corner, and they can free the car up for the center of the corner. I mean, this is great all the way around. And he's controlled this race since this has happened, Marty.
And I think that's the key point, Dale. Remember, they struggled loose on exit the entire day until that happened. Now, yeah, granted, Cliff Daniels has made several changes to the car, but Steve, how much is that helping the, quote, parachute, Denny Hamlin said, helping this 5 car, because immediately that free on exit that they couldn't get rid of all day was gone.
Well, they don't spend millions in the wind tunnel to not try to find every aero advantage possible, and this is an aero advantage. But I want to be clear. There were games on pit road for years. NASCAR has cameras everywhere now. We've seen cars brought back down pit road because crew members pulled skirts or pushed quarter panels. Every car in the field today is going to have wrinkled skirts because of the dog leg on the backstretch. They're not going to make a single team fix it. They're going to not make them fix dented fenders, torn up quarter panels, smashed in doors, and they shouldn't make this 5 car fix an incidental contact, because I can assure you, he didn't want to get hit on the exit of turn 2. Some days, it just bends the correct way. And that's what happened for the 5 right here, and we'll see if it pays off. But to your point, you can hear the jealousy in Hamlin's voice.
Well, he's fortunate it did it the way it did. It could have just as easily been it the other way. It would have been a major disadvantage. We've seen cars before years ago where the rear bumper would come off of it. Oh, that was instant speed. If you could get the rear bumper off that thing, it was crazy how much better it would drive.
Coming up now on 92 to go, and now inside the fuel window. So, Steve, this last stage, over 122 laps, but when will we see potentially these drivers wanting to come to pit road, maybe green flag pit stops even?
Yeah, we're still a long ways away. It would probably be at least another 40 laps, 35 to 40 laps to see guys pit under green. We're showing right here the 18 of Kyle Busch. The season that could have been, right? You heard his frustration, but I love his feedback. As a matter of fact, disappointing as it may be for others, hey, we weren't good enough. We're not in the championship four because we weren't good enough. That's what makes Kyle Busch who he is, or that's what makes him better. Behind him, the two of Brad Keselowski. I loved his interview in the pre-race show, right? He talking about having some onions nearby because he was a little watery-eyed about Team Penske. He went there. He delivered a championship. That is impressive, and I wish him the best. Dale, you know Brad so well. You gave him a shot at Junior Motorsports. I actually believe he's the type of driver that could flourish in this new role at Roush, right? To be a driver and part owner and help rebuild that organization. He loves the details of what goes into these cars.
Yeah, he's absolutely cut out to be an owner in this sport, and it'll be difficult for him, I think, over the next couple of years to do both jobs at the same time. But he's going to have a lot of fun, and I think it's going to go a long way.
You won't miss a thing. We're going to go NASCAR nonstop. Larson and Elliott running 1-2 here.
Again, another NASCAR nonstop.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
I definitely think mocha is an adult flavor. Listen, the kids have their drink with candy. Yeah. I get my own drink. This is our candy. You know, espresso candy. Sonic Mocha Crunch Blast. Espresso. You say espresso? Yes, I do.
An F-150 isn't an F-150 because of the name on the tailgate. It's an F-150 because it's built Ford tough, built to haul more, built to tow more, for the people who count on it. Because they know that brawn can get the job done, but it takes brains and brawn to get it done right. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
I need to try it first.
Here you go, buddy. Thank you.
You may kiss the bride.
Love you, Dad.
Oh my God. Our baby girl.
That was fast.
The 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance Edition could be yours. Enter for your chance to win this high-performance Ford, plus get an entry for an entry instant prize. $100 gift card during today's race. All you have to do is go to NASCAR.com/Ford Playoffs promo. Look at a big run by Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, two Ford drivers. And want to get a few updates. And we'll start with Marty.
Rick, I asked Kyle Larson about his crew chief, Cliff Daniels, and I said, what do you think about him as a leader? And he said, I always thought having someone to motivate me was something I never really needed as a driver, but to hear Cliff and the way he leads our meetings, to watch him post-race, hang out with our guys, how he listens to our guys and takes ideas from everywhere, I am so thankful to have someone like him who's really inspired me to bring my best every week. If you've ever hung around Cliff Daniels, you know he is no doubt a leader and was a leader from a very young age, trying to win his first championship in just his second full-time year, Kelly.
If Chase Elliott can find a way to win this championship and go back-to-back, he will become the youngest driver ever to have multiple championships. He's just 25 years old. I asked him what the coolest or his favorite memory was was from winning the championship last year. I thought maybe he'd refer me to the incredible homecoming he had back in Dawsonville, Georgia. He said, no, it was right here at the track. Remember, he had his Hall of Fame father, Bill Elliott, and his mother, Cindy, right here to celebrate with him. He said it was getting that trophy, taking the pictures, going through all the motions that you get to go through when you win a championship, and memories you'll certainly treasure forever, Dave.
Denny Hamlin's relationship to his team goes back so much further than when he started driving in this Cup Series car. Way back when, a kid from Virginia was definitely a Washington Redskins fan, so he knew who Coach Gibbs was, and he definitely wanted to meet him when he was 11 years old. And then Denny racing locally as a youngster, number 11. And he's run it for every race that he's run in the Cup Series, 578 starting today. They've all been with Joe Gibbs. They've all been with FedEx, Parker.
Well, Dave, Martin Truex Jr. and I had an interesting conversation on Friday when he turned to me after I said, you look so calm approaching this championship forward. He said, you know, I'm 41 years old. I know this could potentially be one of my last shots at getting another championship. The reason being, this sport is about to go through so much change with the next-gen car and how you drive those cars. Who knows what's in store in the future for him? So he's just been trying to enjoy his time here to see a battle in the front.
It is a battle, and really it's at the other end of the racetrack. I think Larson does a really nice job down here in 1 and 2, getting a good run off that grippy stuff off the top of the racetrack. But down here in 3 and 4, Larson commits top, Chase commits bottom the last few laps. They're going to do that once again, and Chase really rolls in and closes a good car length on this 5 car.
Speaking of closing in, Larson and Elliott, they have not been putting out the fastest laps of the championship 4. It's been Hamlin and Truex Jr. who have put together the fastest laps. They're still trying to close the gap, but look at this. Chase Elliott keeps peeking just to the inside of Larson.
We saw Chase Elliott at the end of the last long run. He just stayed committed to the bottom of the racetrack. Larson was on the top, but Chase Elliott down here in 3 and 4, like you said, Steve, making big moves right here.
And now that Chase is there, Larson's going to have to get more defensive with his line. He'll change a few things, and it'll cost him a little bit of time. And if they battle like they are right now, it's going to allow Denny to get right into this really quick. Denny's looking right out the windshield, seeing these two guys run side by side, and he is trying quickly to get there as they are costing each other a tenth here, a tenth there.
Elliott able to clear the 5 as they go through the dog leg and now into turn 1. Lap cars coming into play once again.
So Chase now wants to put a little bit of distance between him and the 5 car. I think Hamlin is the quickest car on the track. Marty.
I think Kyle Larson really may be getting a little bit tighter on exit here. I think that's the concern for the 9 camp. They did tell him, hey, or the 5 camp, they did tell him the 9 is catching you a little bit here. And they also told him early in the run, the 9 said on his radio, he can't keep up with you when you're in that high line. So you see Larson really working the top of the racetrack. But Steve, you had it right on. 1 and 2 is where Larson is the best. 3 and 4 is where he struggles, and that's where Chase Elliott passed him.
Larson's going to move around and change his line a little bit now that he's behind the 9. He's going to make a couple small tweaks, and you can see he's not letting that 9 go anywhere. He's actually improved his car a little bit with the adjustments to his line, and he's staying right here. Going to bring the fight back to Chase Elliott, our leader.
Trying to take advantage of these lap cars.
So it's Chase Elliott out in front now. Only 74 laps to go as we go NASCAR nonstop.
These are the people who work on the front lines. They need a network that's built right. That's why we created Verizon Frontline, the advanced network and technology for first responders. Built on America's most reliable network. Built for real interoperability and built for 5G. It's America's #1 network in public safety. Verizon Frontline, built right for first responders.
New jerseys are here. There you go.
All American Club? Did you just turn us into Subway ads?
Yep, Subway's got so much new, like the new Turkey Cali Fresh, that they couldn't fit it in their ads. So they bought space on your jersey.
Go long, Italian BMT.
This is Antonelli's Cheese Shop.
And we're the Antonellis.
Do good, eat good.
That's our mission.
We chose our new Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One because it gives us unlimited 2% cash back on everything we buy.
And it has no preset spending limit, so our purchasing power adapts to our business needs. We use our 2% cash back to help cover our employees' healthcare costs.
That's how we take care of our most valuable asset.
Our people. It may sound cheesy,
But we like it that way. What's in your wallet?
We get out. Fired up. Hook big ones. We get out and rip it. We track them down. Crack a Mountain Dew. Get out and do.
At Progressive, we love your pets as much as you do. Like this guy in a hat. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you. This mini majorette's gonna march your way right
I'm sorry,
into your
can we stop? I know that we're selling car insurance here, but, you know, all the cute little animals, it's too much.
Define too much.
What's wrong with cute animals?
So are we doing this or what?
Nah, it's over.
Well, someone's got to break the news to Mittens. She's a diva.
And here we are at the Airline Hall of Fame.
We're in 10,000 BC, and with that came violent winter storms. Things are going to get real bad real fast. Look out!
68 laps remain. The NASCAR Cup Series Championship race for Phoenix Raceway. Telecast presented by USAA. And here comes Denny Hamlin.
47 laps on this run right here. The longer run Joe Gibbs racing cars have been like this all day. It was the 19 of Truex, now the 11 of Hamlin. As the tires wear, the 11 comes to life. He's taken over second from Larson. And with 67 to go in the race, drivers, he is hoping this runs green. We have green flag pit stops. No more restarts. This is his strength.
Yes, Steve, it takes about 30 laps for him to start breaking even with the two Hendrick cars. And then on about lap 32, 33, his car gets way faster. As you've seen, he's run him down from almost 3 seconds back. Won't be long. He's going to be battling for the lead.
And the same can be said for his teammate Truex. You see him in the screen there just behind Larson, right behind Truex, the 4 cars well of Harvick. So it's really more maybe that the Hendrick cars are falling off too much on the long run, Parker.
Right, I think the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. is going to be the first on the pit road of our championship 4 contenders here. Electing to pit early as they were gaining time on those Hendrick cars. Martin had come on the radio and complaining of the handling and losing the right front on this 19 car when James Small reminded him we're reeling them in, referencing those Hendrick cars. You see it's going to be 4 Goodyear tires and air pressure adjustment for Martin Truex. We'll see where this cycles out as they get done this full stop. Caution, guys.
Oh, a huge wreck for the 38 Alfredo. Heavy damage to the right front. This is going to be a major blow to the 19 of Truex. We're going to have to let scoring cycle out before we can exactly place him on the racetrack. But the gamble, I was talking about gambling. Hey, come early, get the fresh tires. Why doesn't everybody do it? Well, this is the downfall. You see James Small, he can't believe it. Staring at the screen, he actually has the same question we have at the moment, which is, I got to see where this cycles around.
You know, there's multiple cars that came to pit road. Kurt Busch, William Byron, Kyle Busch, the 12 car of Blaney.
That could have been a huge break for the 19. He may have stayed in the lead lap, and if he was able to stay in the lead lap, he would line up in front of all those guys when they pit. We'll have to see when it cycles out.
I want to take a look at what happened with Anthony.
Oh, right front tire. Oh. We see that a lot on corner exit of 2, and that is a nasty angle to hit that wall. Thankful for the innovation of the safer barrier.
That is a horrible hit.
Mentioned Anthony Alfredo fighting for Rookie of the Year this year. Chase Briscoe, another driver who has had an issue today.
Got to work through the timing here for Martin Truex Jr. So the advantage for Truex, Phoenix, long pit road. Well, he's very early in it. So he pits, And he's one of the first stalls. So he hasn't been on pit road very long. They service the car while the caution comes out. Now, the whole question is, he has scored where he leaves pit road at the start-finish relative to the leaders. Well, fortunately for him, he wasn't in there very long when the yellow came out, so the rest of the field slows down as well. So NASCAR is going to compare him to the leader, Chase Elliott, relative to the start-finish line.
We will be the leader, I think.
And that's what James Small's saying. They're going to cycle to the front, as you said, Jeff. So he was only 2 seconds behind the leader when he pitted. That's the other big advantage. You know, he didn't pit from deep in the field. So basically what happens is he comes to pit road. They start servicing their car. The leaders continue with speed, but then almost instantly the caution comes out. Well, Chase Elliott slows down and waits for the pace truck. So, you know, pace car speed and pit road speed, reasonably close, only 10 miles an hour difference. Martin Truex Jr. and James Small, instead of a bad break, it's perhaps the best break they could have asked for. Great long-run car, and now they should have track position.
It was so important, Steve, for that caution to come out quickly. If that caution doesn't come out quickly, and all those cars are going fast around the racetrack, they do come around and lap Truex, but the NASCAR rule is when the caution comes out, immediately you have to slow down by rule. If you don't, NASCAR will penalize you for safety reasons. Huge break for Martin Truex.
So a big break there for the 19 team potentially. And tonight, Sunday Night Football on NBC and Peacock. Ryan Tannehill and the 6-2 Titans are going to face Aaron Donald and the 7-1 Rams. And coverage starting at 7 p.m. Eastern with football night in America. So now the pit road is open and lead lap cars making their way onto pit road. Dave?
And Rick, this is such a fine adjustment for Denny Hamlin that Chris Gabart, his crew chief, asked, do you want me to miss to the tight side or miss to the loose side? Denny just laughed and he said, at the end of the run, maybe to the loose side. Foreguard your tires and Sunoco fuel, Kelly.
Alan Gustafson had already called Chase Elliott to pit road when that caution came out. Chase says the race car's really in an okay spot when he was out leading. It got just a little snug. 4 tires and fuel, Marty.
Kyle Larson reiterated we're so good on the short run, but man, the longer we go, my tight in the center just really hurts me a bunch. And I also lost drive off the corner that run as well. Air pressure, a wedge adjustment there. You see that being made right now. How about the Gibbs crew? They deliver on pit road. Denny Hamlin gets the lead.
Larson is going to lose a spot on pit road. Hamlin and Logano gaining spots.
We
love our house. Been here for years.
Yeah, but there's an animal in the
Let's go on, stop.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
PNC Bank believes that if your phone can help you track your pizza, then your bank should help you track your spending. Virtual wallet with low cash mode from PNC Bank. One way we're making a difference.
This next step for me is for every kid out there with a dream. You will face challenges, but trust me, no matter what, keep pushing.
One crispy Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich for you, and a delicious crispy spicy one for whoever needs a little kick in the keister. Get the Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich in classic or spicy for just $3.99. It's finger-licking good.
Check that out. Internet that's one step ahead.
My internet streamed to my ride.
Yeah? Well, mine's always got my back.
Okay, chill. Mine's faster than Harvick.
Okay, that's fast.
My internet's so fast, it keeps up.
Yep, that's because you all have the same internet. Xfinity X5. It's so powerful, it keeps one-upping itself.
Can the internet do that?
Back.
As was predicted, the 19 is going to be the race leader, Steve.
All right, let's relive this
Truex.
whole issue with the 19. He comes to pit road. There he is in the middle of his pit stop. Top of the screen, the 38 of Anthony Alfredo. Alfredo flat tire, heavy impact. The 19 crew continues to work on their car. At this point, the track goes yellow. The leader slows down. There goes Truex, start-finish line. Now we're looking for the leader. This is where Truex has scored. You see cars go by. There is the 9 of Chase Elliott. Martin Truex Jr. stays on the lead lap. A huge break for the 19. We'll see if he can pay it off, though. 59 to go. He's now the leader. Blaney as well. Got some track position, so you're going to see him in the restart. Unfortunately for the 5 of Kyle Larson, a slow pit stop. The right side looked pretty good, Jeff, right? I didn't see anything there. It's the left side that I think they have the issue.
And you see the Jackman runs around, jacks the left side up. A little bit slow in the left rear. Not a lot there, but and this is a huge momentum shift. Now you take the two cars that have been slow on short runs and you put them in front of the field. Can they take advantage of it?
Not gonna win.
58 laps to go in the championship. Aggressive Larson to the bottom of the racetrack.
He's going to have a lot of company on the outside. Look at the momentum lost down the back straightaway.
And the two Hendrick cars are stuck behind the two Penske cars. And as they are, the two Gibbs cars drive away from them.
Chase Elliott making some quick work here, though. Getting on the outside of the 22 back there for fourth. He's going to take that position away now. Tries to figure out a way to put a position or make a position on this 12 car as quickly as he possibly can. You talked about the short run speed. You got to take advantage of it while you got it. You got about 25 laps till we see the Gibbs cars cycle to the advantage in lap time.
Just a huge change in momentum here. We know that clean air, I don't care what size the racetrack is, clean air helps. That's going to make these two cars that have been slower on short runs, it's going to help them some. I don't know they're going to have enough speed to hold Chase Elliott off, but even if Chase gets by him, they're so much closer to him than they have been. It will not take them as long for it to switch and that long run car to have a major advantage.
Stay on the aggression here.
Spotter of the 9. Coaching his driver to stay aggressive.
We heard at the beginning of the show, Martin Truex Jr., when he was chatting with the guys on pit road, he said, nobody can out-scrap us. Well, Martin Truex Jr. right now in this team, after a couple poor pit stops to start the race, they have now put it all together and a little bit of luck on pit road. When they're on pit road and a caution comes out, they start up front. Now, can they hang on to it? Can they stay out front? Can he win a second championship here in the Cup Series?
And Denny has moved around a little bit. He's went to the top of the racetrack to try to find some speed and some clean air to be able to track down the 19 car. It's allowed the 9 car, though, to have a little bit of room to run where he likes to run, where his cars been fast all day long on the bottom of the racetrack, Steve.
And now you're going to see he goes to the bottom. You know what's surprising, Dale, is that the 11, you know, he's doing a pretty good job for a long-run car holding off the 9 in that dirty air you talked about, right? So I'm not sure if he wants to be top or bottom. As he searches for clean air, though, it's a big advantage to the 9. It leaves him the bottom of the racetrack.
Well, that's exactly right. When you see clean air matters, that 19 car, when he goes to the bottom of the racetrack and the 11 stays to the top like he did in 1 and 2, that's a major advantage to the 11 car.
The car we don't see in this shot is the 5 car of Larson. Quite a ways back behind these guys. Not able to squeeze up through there and get through the traffic like the 9 car did. And as this track cools off, you see the shade. It's going to tighten up. The 5 car Larson struggled with a tight race car late in the run. You have to wonder if they're freeing this car up enough for him to continue to be competitive late in this race.
And this right here, Chase Elliott having to run the bottom, trying to get by Denny Hamlin. That's harder on his tires than if he can run wherever he wants to.
And Jeff, we saw the 9 able to pass the 5 by running that lower line. He was making it work early. Is this an advantageous line for the 9 to be able to run that well down low?
Well, I think that's where he wants to be. He's been there all day long. The problem is that you see Denny Hamlin right there running the top. He's been doing that all day long, and we know that his car is very good on a long run, so that makes me believe that this top line may be a little bit easier on tires. You're not stressing the tires much. You don't have to turn the wheel Everything's smoother running that top line versus running the bottom.
Chase seems like he's struggling more and more with each passing lap to try to even get in position to challenge this 11 car.
Back to gas earlier there.
You mentioned it, Jeff. The short run speed is still there in this 9, but the dirty air is new. Could be affecting his pace just a bit. And if I'm James Small, the crew chief for the 19, or Chris Gabehart, the crew chief for the 11, I'm letting them know this time by. That's 10 laps. You guys are still going to get better. The 9's going to start to go away, right? I'm going to coach you up. Dale, if you're my driver, I'm going to try to give you confidence. If you keep holding them off, we have seen these lap times flip as we get longer into our run.
It's just absolutely amazing what track position does and how important it is. A good pit stop for Denny Hamlin, a break for Martin Truex, but they both got it. And now they're taking advantage of it, Parker.
Steve, you mentioned how maybe you've been telling your driver that's 10 laps into a run. James Small has been quiet on the radio. Everyone has been quiet on the 19 radio. But one thing I've been tracking throughout the day is seeing when this 19 car sort of comes to life. And that's normally about 23 laps or so into the run. So right now we're at lap 11. If that 9 car isn't able to make headway before then, that could be when they start to really stretch that lead, Dave.
And now a confident Denny Hamlin tries to track down his teammate. And he has a huge team behind him, including 600,000 FedEx employees worldwide. They came to Joe Gibbs Racing in 2015. They came with Denny Hamlin. They've been hungry for a championship ever since. And if he wins today, there'll be a huge party, Kelly.
When that caution came out, Chase Elliott said, man, that could have been bad. Remember, he had already been called to pit road. And then when he found out the 19 managed to stay on the lead lap, he said, oh, I can't believe the luck they have. But the team, staying positive, said, don't worry about it. Remember, you're better than him. By the way, it sounded like there might have been a little confusion on the lane choice for that last restart. It sounded like Chase didn't know if he was supposed to be picking his lane at the right time when he did. He lined up where he lined up, and they went after it. But I'm not sure that he made a really conscientious effort to pick his preferred lane.
45 laps to go. The championship 4 running 1, 2, 3, 4 as we go NASCAR nonstop.
USAA is made for the safe pilots. For Mac, who can come to a stop with barely a bobble. Lucia, who announces her intentions even if no one's there. And Sergeant Moore, who leaves room for her room. With USAA Safe Pilot, when you drive safe, you can save up to 30% on your auto insurance. Get a quote and start saving. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
I could maybe eat 2 cheeseburgers and a cherry lemonade. Oh, yeah. What size? Route 44? Go big or go home. Go big or go home. And if you're going to do it wrong, do it right. If you're going to eat the dessert, buy the shoes. Besides, the drink itself off. You have too many shoes. I know.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. The 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
I need to try it first.
Okay. Here you go, buddy. Thank you.
You may kiss the bride.
Love you, Dad.
Oh my God. Is our baby crying?
Under 40 laps to go now for Martin Truex Jr. looking for his second championship in the Cup Series, and he's starting to pull away from Denny Hamlin, 9/10 of a second.
Chase Elliott, see, he's fallen further back as this run has gone on. He's been pushing hard, trying to find some speed. right against the wall. A little bit of contact right there. He's trying to get on the edge, finding everything he can, opening up his entry. Just made contact. It's an odd place to make contact, but just trying to get as far out as he can to turn down into the corner.
And, of course, the championship 4 are going to finish 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's a battle going on right now, 5th through 16th. And Harvick is at the top of that list. Remember when we started the playoffs, he was 16th?
Yeah, what a recovery from Kevin Harvick. His performance has absolutely stepped up in the playoffs. But it's a tight battle between Blaney and Keselowski, only a couple points. 7 more back to their teammate in Logano. And then you see another tight battle back there between Byron and Busch. All these points matter. I know making the playoffs is the key. Winning the championship is obviously everybody's goal. But at the end of the year, you want to finish as high as you can in those points for both pride and for the business model. The higher you finish, the more it pays.
Denny Hamlin, you're fighting. See if they can get that car a little bit closer to the 19.
I've been watching these guys kind of move around a little bit. And the 19 of Truex is exiting turn 2 quite a bit lower. It's going in, using a little bit of that resin up high, but then turns the car off and runs almost next to the apron on corner exit to adjust his line. It seems to have helped a little bit, give him a little bit more pace. I think Denny was a little bit quicker, but what do you got on this 11, Dave?
Junior 22 laps into this run, and Denny's team has seen this movie before.
This is right where we started pulling away from in the last run. This is all playing out right.
We'll see if it comes to fruition for the 11 car. Just 9/10 of a second behind his teammate now.
So I feel like that those 2 cars did the same thing the last run equally. When one got better, the other got better the same amount. It wasn't like the 19 was slower or faster than the 11. They're pretty equal when they chased down the HMS cars. And now the 19 of Truex is going to enjoy the clean air. Now the lap traffic could play a role. It has. Cost Truex a little bit of time. It's cost Denny a little bit of time. And that's going to continue if we stay under green. But I think this clean air for Truex is going to play the biggest role as this race goes forward.
The one thing we have seen, though, with 34 laps to go, we've seen massive shifts in speed on older tires. We've seen cars fall off by 2 or 3 tenths of a second. If you're Denny Hamlin, you need Chris Gabehart right now pumping you up. And that's what he was doing. Hey, man, this is going to be our advantage. It's playing out exactly like we want it to. And Denny's just got to lock in. He's just got to lock in and hit his marks. Be perfect every single lap.
Well, that's for the 11. If you go behind the 11, the 2 Hendrick cars of Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, if I'm Alan Gustafson, I'm cheerleading my driver on. I'm continuing to get feedback. A yellow changes everything. These 2 have the best short-run cars. So we saw the 9 make a little contact with the wall. Don't panic and take us out of it yet. What we don't want to do is damage our car and then have the caution, Marty, that we could have used for both the Hendrick cars, a yellow, and I think they have a chance.
And Steve, after a 9-win season, the championship might be slipping away from Kyle Larson in this 5 team. He said the drive off, especially off of turn 4, left the car much earlier in this run. So unless they get a caution, I'm not sure there's a path that Kyle Larson can get up there and pass those Gibbs cars.
And look at the sun now. The sun was behind the clouds. The track was pretty cool. Now the sun is back out. Look at the view into turn 3. The drivers cannot see the racetrack. What you see on your screen is exactly what it looks like out the windshield for the drivers. And now this part of the racetrack, turn 1 and 2, is going to warm up. It's going to get slicker. Who will benefit from how the track is going to change down here if the sun stays out?
I just watched the brake rotor explode on the front straightaway, and there's debris all up there, high in the dog legs.
Okay, so crew chief saw something happen. Was it with David Starr? And a caution does come out. That means a restart. And Steve, you come back to pit road and get fresh tires. 20 on one set.
So this is really the stress for everyone, right? We saw earlier in the race Ryan Blaney not pit and hold cars off for a little while. But he did not have this many laps on his tires. This is a 28-lap run right here. I believe that you have to come to pit road. There's a reason for the caution. You see that part is in a really bad location. Entrance to turn 3, a huge part of the brake rotor, which is the radio we were hearing that they saw it happen. So I think you have to come to pit road. And now if you're Truex, Hamlin, Elliott, Larson, I know we talked about Truex and Hamlin not having great short-run cars, but they held the Hendrick cars off here with the short cars with the help of Team Penske, who lined up in between them. We talk about it being a team sport. It's going to be the driver's responsibility here in a little bit. But before that, it's going to be the pit crew's opportunity to shine. Kyle Larson has that number 1 pit stall. Will that be the difference maker?
Yeah, we talk about the mental state of the drivers and the pressure that they feel behind the wheel. Now we're going to talk about a group of individuals all equally under a big amount of pressure. This could be the final stop of the day, should be the final stop of the day, and they all are going to be expected to perform.
And I don't have all the tools that these guys have for data analytics. You know, is anybody getting it with 2 tires? Does Kyle Larson say, I don't know if we can beat him from the second row. We're going to take 2 tires. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's going to be 4 tires. But, you know, I think everything is kind of on the board right now of opportunity and what can you do to gamble.
As Denny Hamlin, to see his reaction when he hears the caution is coming out. I don't know if that's excitement or disappointment. I think he thought he was in great shape and needed that thing to stay green.
I agree with you.
This has turned into a Hendrick Gibbs slugfest. It just has. You know, Joe Gibbs is not here today, had some back surgery. Number 1, I want to wish him well. But number 2, can you imagine being at home, watching this? 2 of your guys going at it, battling for a championship, trying to fight off the Hendrick guys as well. The stress for 2 extremely competitive car owners between Joe Gibbs, the Super Bowl winner, also a winner and a champion in NASCAR, and Rick Hendrick, the guy that's been the man to beat for I'd say, 20 years, 25 years. 2 of the big car owners swinging it out.
And I'll add to this, we keep talking about the 4 up front. Well, everyone else is still in this race. What if Kyle Busch from 11th says, I'm going to stay out on old tires? What if Tyler Reddick from 13th think they have a chance to win the race? Or does someone back there take 2 tires? So this field can easily get jumbled up.
Denny Hamlin said he lives and loves chaos. He's getting ready to be in the middle of it.
He's about to live the chaos as they're coming to pit road, Parker.
Right, Martin Truex came on the radio reporting that car is just a little bit loose on the entries there, so they make a small air pressure adjustment in the 19. Remember, this team struggled a little bit earlier in the race to gain spots on pit road, but cleaned it up later. It's going to be 4 tires for Martin, Dave.
4 tires for Denny Hamlin as well. Let's see if the crew continues their pace as they have been. Good stops the last couple. He'll get 4 in Goodyear and Sunoco fuel, Kelly.
Chase Elliott said he was just a little bit tighter that run. Could be from the damage when he got into the wall. It's going to be 4 tires for Chase Elliott as well, Marty.
Last run, just 2 frees for Kyle Larson on exit. He said, I cannot get back to the gas like those guys can. The crew lost some spots on the last stop. They have been the best throughout the playoffs. Let's see if they can deliver here. And they do. They get Kyle Larson the lead on a close drag race. Gained 3 spots for Larson there. Incredible.
That's it. The move of the race so far. It was a lucky break for the 19. It is a pit stop for the 5. Remember, qualifying on Friday determined pit pick. They got their number 1 pit stop. Look how fired up Cliff Daniels is. 4th to 1st, +3. Not a spot. He went from the last championship 4 car to now controlling the race.
They've been the best all year, and then you look at the 19 team.
Yeah, not a huge issue. A little slow in the right rear. We are at the biggest moments, right? It doesn't take a huge mistake. That was just a little clumsy, a little clunky. That is all it takes to lose spots in the playoffs.
Larson's going to start up front after a great pit stop.
My work has been viewed by 100 million people. My work helps save lives. My work is gone platinum. My work gives people hope. I work at FedEx.
Take your career to the next level with one of our many open positions.
The Snapchat app from Progressive rewards you for driving safe and driving less.
Okay, what message did you hear this time? Safe drivers can save using Snapshot.
What's Snapshot?
What the commercial was about.
I tune commercials out.
Yeah, me too. They're always like, wow, wow, wow.
Tell me about it. I'm going to a silent retreat next weekend.
My niece got kicked out of one of those.
For talking?
Grand larceny.
How about we get back to the savings?
Yes, I would like to talk about that.
Okay.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of Nascar Broadcasting. Nascar would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Steve, maybe the most important decision of the entire year about to happen right here.
25 laps to go for a championship. Now what lane do you choose? Kyle Larson, I assume, will take the top. Hamlin will take the bottom. How about Chase? He'll take the bottom as well. The championship 4 will line up in the front 2 rows with a little mixture. We have a Hendrick and a Gibbs car and a Hendrick and a Gibbs car. So this is going to be, man, it's going to be crazy.
I think Denny Hamlin absolutely had to take the bottom. Right there on that run, it's easy to say the 11 and Gibbs fixed their short run problem, but they had track position. Now the 5 of Kyle Larson has track position. I think Denny Hamlin knows that. I think Denny Hamlin's got to push the issue here. He's got to put the 5 of Larson in a bad position, try to run him up the racetrack as they enter turn 1. You cannot let that 5 car get ahead of you. Let's listen to him.
Obviously, their strength all day has been short run, but they didn't have a strength the last run. The 5 was off the whole time.
Remember, you guys said in Ruoff Mortgage, keys to victory lane, no mistakes. Denny Hamlin can't go below the yellow line before the start-finish line on this restart. He has to stay in his line. He can't cut that corner too soon.
That's a great launch from the 5 so far.
The 5 surging out front.
And Truex cleared Hamlin. He's going to do it. It all started. Hamlin did not get the launch he needed. Now Truex is in second.
Larson, Truex, Hamlin, and Elliott. The championship 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 23 laps to go.
Truex closed in quite a bit. Again, he's closing in a little bit on this 5 car, right? Within a couple car lengths down the back straightaway.
Here comes the 9 as well, looking to the inside of the 11. Chase Elliott trying to take 3rd away.
Hamlin's going to fight hard up top. There's grip up top, but shorter way around the racetrack. New tires. Chase Elliott going to, I thought he'd shortcut that back straightaway more than he did.
The 19 not letting the 5 get away.
Oh, the 19 had to get off the gas a little bit up off the corner there. Now he goes back on the attack into turn 3.
Truex, perhaps the best long-run car of the bunch all day. So the key here, obviously try to pass him if you can, but stay as close as possible. If your car comes in, if the tires feel great with 5 or 7 to go, you have to have him close as he climbs the banking up to that grippy area, trying to get a run off the corner.
I'm surprised Truex was able to stay that close to Larson those first few laps. Larson up the racetrack a little bit. Truex right on that yellow line. Parker.
And Jeff, James Small came on the radio just before they restarted and told Martin this should take off better. That tells me I think they pumped up the air pressure a little bit on that 19 to be better here on the short run.
Giving your driver a chance. I love it. We talked at the beginning of the show about the experience on top of the pit box. Kyle Larson, James Small. Kyle Larson leading, James Small, the crew chief for Truex, says, I got to give my driver a chance. Something to catch this fast number 5 car, and he's done it. The 19 is there.
He is so good down here in turn 3 and 4. Pretty equal in 1 and 2. Might be able to make some adjustments down here in his line. A lot of options in this corner.
The pressure as high as it's ever been. Now, under 19 laps to go. The fight for the lead in the championship. Larson has it. Truex Jr. is bringing it to him.
Larson, he runs up the racetrack a little bit. That gives Truex what he wants to the bottom, clean air. I think Larson's going to have to change his lane down here. Truex is close enough now into turn 1. He may be able to upset the back of this car.
We got to get into PJ1 off of 4.
There you go. That was the way you just talked about, Jeff.
Truex run the high side there. Let's see how he enjoyed that. If he goes back and does that again in turn 1 and 2. Still using the bottom down here, making some good time. The 5, though, up the racetrack, like you said, Jeff, like he was instructed. And look at the run down the front straightaway. He goes back to 2, 3 car lengths of a lead. Now he's going to change his line. He saw the 19 run the high side. If he has that 2 or 3 car length gap, he can make these adjustments.
Ooh.
That was so close. I thought they were going to make contact right there. Larson now way up the track.
God.
Getting all the way up into that grippier part.
Larson and Truex now 0.7 of a second in front of Elliott, who's up to third. Denny Hamlin back to fourth.
Yeah, Chase is closing in a little bit on these two.
All right, let's go to the party here. 15 to go at the line, one.
It's Chase Elliott's radio. He's trying to cheerlead that driver. He's like, I'm going, man. I promise.
Get up into the party.
We heard that adjustments by the 19 to take off better. It definitely did. He hung with the 5, but nothing is free. If you make an adjustment to make your car fire off, does it hurt the 19 on the long run? 15 to go. We will find out.
Yeah, they set the air pressures in these cars to reach a target on the long run. If you set those pressures higher, you will exceed that target and then, in turn, lose a little bit of grip on the other end of the run. Has he gotten to that point yet?
Behind these guys, we talk about Chase Elliott's speed. Well, Denny Hamlin, he is searching everywhere. Last time through 3 and 4, a full car width higher than everyone. Look at this. As high as we have seen anyone down in 1 and 2.
Let's go.
It's time to put every chip you've got to the middle of the table.
Look how you cannot see into turn 1. It's gotten very difficult. Hamlin pushing the issue on his entries. At this point, though, it's either get there or if I wreck this car, so what? You're just not going to get there for fourth if you don't try something extraordinary.
He's done some good work here trying to catch this 9 car. Hard into the throttle off of turn 2. He's going to have a great run down the straightaway. Can't see a thing.
He sees the back bumper of the 9, and it's getting closer.
Hard into the gas right there. You see him committing to the throttle. Late in this race, the shade on that turn. The temperature dropping in the track. Can be really aggressive. He's right here on the back bumper of Chase Elliott. Man, he carried it in there. You hear the debris flying off of the tires into the wheel wells, way up the racetrack into the dirt.
Big run here. Hamlin. He stays right behind the 9, though, as they enter turn 3.
You hear him hammering that throttle, trying to get the car to turn. Get the rear tires to hook up at the same time. It's working for him, this high line. He's got to get by Elliott quickly if he's got any shot at all. There he is. Big move right here.
Coming to 10 laps to go. He's going to have the speed and the momentum. Elliott's going to have to give him the room. He had too much of a run for Elliott to block that.
Hamlin makes his way up to third.
Great work by Denny Hamlin.
Chase is struggling with turn or something. He's using the apron a little bit. 3 and 4, we rarely see cars do that.
Under 10 to go. Is it enough time for Hamlin to close the gap? He's 1.7 seconds behind Larson.
And the information's got up to Larson. He's now running that high entry in middle of the corner like the 11 of Hamlin.
Larson about 0.8 of a second in front of Martin Truex Jr. And then the hard-charging 11 of Denny Hamlin trying to close the gap.
That time by the fastest car of the front 4, Truex, but just barely.
The sun setting on the racetrack and the season. Kyle Larson has put together the best season of all of the Championship 4 drivers with 9 wins, looking for his 10th.
Yeah, the laps are beginning to unravel for all these guys. 8 laps to go.
Truex again, the fastest car.
Is there enough time?
Well, Jeff mentioned it, right? That we get long enough on these tires that you just lose big chunks of speed quickly. You wonder if that's going to affect any of these 4 in these closing laps.
These guys have put a nice distance on Chase Elliott. Without a caution, his hopes of another championship have all but evaporated here.
Trying to go back-to-back. As we see the speeds of the line, Hamlin the fastest. Then Larson, Truex Jr., the top 3.
Hamlin's going to relive this restart for quite some time as he's not able to get up there.
The blinding light as they go into turn 3. Coming up on 6 to go.
Kyle Larson sitting here with the lead. His pit crew, their second fastest stop of the year. And the key moment got him in this position.
To a 19.8. It's going to be 5 at the line. Keep it smooth.
Now they gave it to him. They gave him the lead. Now he's got to go do his job. And trust me, they believe he can. That team believes so much in Kyle Larson.
Oh,
what makes a great
time
crew
to go.
chief,
Come on, Larson.
Cliff Daniels sounded like this was a practice day. Matter of fact, here's the information. Keep it smooth, 5 to go.
I'm more nervous than he is.
Cliff Daniels told us earlier in the year, he said, I watched back all of Larson's dirt races and listened to his lingo so that I knew the communications that he liked to hear, the way he said things. And Larson said, you know, during races, I'm watching the scoring pylon. I want to know where everybody is around me. Well, that communication and that knowledge of where everyone is has paid off for Larson. 4 laps to go now.
And guys, this race is not over. Remember Kyle Larson leading Pocono on the last lap, blew a right front tire, left front tire actually ended up losing that race. We've seen things happen. They are not over until they drop that checker.
And Denny Hamlin, he's catching his teammate Truex for that second place. And we have some lap cars as well right there in front of Larson.
Now just 3 miles to go. 3 laps remain here at Phoenix.
The lap car's getting well out of the way. Larson really appreciates that.
We had an opportunity in the pre-race to show Kyle Larson a tribute from Mario Andretti. There is no bigger name. But Mario Andretti talked about how great Kyle Larson is. Kyle Larson smiled. You could see how much he appreciated that. This man has proven he can get it done in every kind of race car.
Truex making a little time here.
2 to go.
A few car leaks
Come on,
there. 2 to go.
Half a second separating the top 2.
Kyle's got to stay aggressive.
The championship.
Cliff Daniels told him to be smooth. Into 3. The gap still 0.6 of a second.
Come on,
One
white flag
to go. Presented by Credit One Bank.
White flag in the
Truex
yard.
made a lot of time again in turns 3 and 4.
Jack is trying to
a huge amount of time.
Close,
he's closed the gap to 5. Now sees the 19. He's getting closer in the mirror.
Here it comes.
Down the backstretch for the final time.
There's going to be a lap car on the inside. Not going to allow Truex to run that low
Here
line
they
that he wants
come.
to run.
Off the corner. Kyle Larson is a 21 NASCAR Cup Series champion. My predictions are done. Yeah.
Great job, man.
Oh my God, I can't wait for next season.
Mr. H.
And also, guys, I'm gonna say this one more time. Next
You
season,
can already see the
races are
emotion. What it means to Kyle Larson.
2022 races next year.
Every single vehicle he gets behind the wheel of, he has won the biggest races. And today, he wins the biggest in NASCAR. Ten wins on the season. One of the most dominant seasons that we have seen in recent history. And once again, it's taken winning the race to win the championship.
Oh, Kyle Larson's crying right now. Kyle Larson won the championship. Wow.
I see you. You better be crying, boy.
Kyle Larson, you see the emotions hitting him now.
There you have it, folks.
Kyle Larson has won over 300 times. since he started racing. But this is just the third time he's ever been a champion.
Kyle Larson wins the NASCAR. It's 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champ. Wow. So bye guys. So I wanna say thank you guys so much for. So thank you guys. So thanks to me for making myself record with NASCAR 2021 races. Right, I started from Michigan, and then the rest of the races. So yep, that's it for the 2021 Cup season. So guys, next year races are also being recorded. The Daytona 500 and the Championship for Phoenix. Wow, guys. So yeah. So I'll see you in the Daytona 500. So I'm going there next year with my family. So yeah. Bye, guys.
There went the tires. There went the flag.
Oh god. So yep. I'll see you in the next year's Daytona 500. Bye.